Hello, welcome to Untitled Gamer. I'm your host, Rob, and I'm joined today again by this wonderful man. James, how are you?
Very well, thanks.
Yeah, good. We're here live at the LGT 2019, that's correct, for the Age of Sigmar Championships. I'd say it's the World Championships, because on table 2, just to the side of me, you have both the English and the Russian ETC members, a member of each team playing off against each other.
That is true.
And then we also have an international table on table 1 as well, so it is worldwide, baby. Yeah,
I think we're pretty much there.
Yeah, we are there. So, hello everyone, welcome to the show. We are going to be bringing you a game of Flesh Eater Courts versus Daughters of Khaine.
Yeah, they're or thereabouts.
Yeah, Daughters of Games is what they are.
Yeah.
Yeah, they do really well all the time. And I've gone too quick.
You've lost it. You've lost it. We'll take a breath.
What's exciting about this matchup is you've got the Flesh Eater Courts who were doing a really good run last season. So leading up to General's Handbook 2019, they were one of the most. They were easily one of the best performing armies out there. Daughters of Khaine, though, at one point during that same season, were sat at a nearly 80% win rate at one point. What's really, neither of the two armies have had any particular nerfs come General's Handbook 2019, a couple of points changes, and we had obviously that change to the Gristlegore run. But it was a close race last season to whether or not Flesh Eater Courts was actually overtake Daughters of Khaine on the stats. But they didn't, they just held on to their lead.
Do you think that Flesh Eater Courts didn't take the crown because Speckles plays them?
Yeah, I mean, that's the main reason.
I can't be helping, right? I mean, if he's in the chat,
and all of the ex-Bretonian players.
Well,
I
don't. I'm still playing Britannia.
Okay,
it's okay.
So it's going to be exciting to see what happens in this game. Also, because the scenario, when we get to it in a minute, is such a polarizing scenario when it comes to gamesmanship. So we will talk about that. This is table 1. So Steve and Peter, who are playing, are potentially in it for the tournament to become the LGT champion. The current reigning champion, Darren, is playing on another table just to the side of us.
He is, but he's also in with a chance, I think.
Yeah. Before we get into it, how's your Sunday morning going?
Wonderful.
Twitch chat, how's your Sunday morning?
We're healthy, we're well.
Yes, we are well. We've been well fed by ourselves. We've got all of the good nutrients that we need. You can see it just behind us in off shot. That's not very professional. We should have sorted that out.
But it looks so nice.
It does look nice. We've got nuts and pears and some fresh bottled water. So that's exactly what we need. If you guys are looking, if you guys are watching on Facebook and you want to jump over and follow us on the Honest Wargamer Twitch, if you do that, you'll be able to press the BIP button that you'll see when you log in on the Honest Wargamer, and when you do, it'll bring up the lists for the two armies. So when we talk about the lists in a moment, you will be able to see those lists, which is cool. It's called the Better Information Panel, and it does give us better information.
It does. And for everyone at home.
And for all you people. How's everyone in the Twitch chat doing? I'm excited to see you. So we've got Blaze Be Mad, Hawkeye, C Black, and Lee Bromley. Morning, boys. You both look fantastic.
Oh,
that's very
getting flirted too by Lee Bromley.
Thank you very much.
It's a good day.
There we go. I've got my most baggiest shirt, so I look thin. All right, should we go to the tabletop and see what we're looking at here? So there we go. As you can see, sticks being used by Mr. Steve Curtis. Huge fan of sticks. Huge fan of sticks, James. Have I told you about this?
No. Please tell me more.
I'm a huge fan of using sticks to measure stuff out. I think it's far more. I think it's a lot better than using tape measure. It's flat. It's on the board. Like, it doesn't get in the way of the game. It just looks solid. So, as you can see, Daughters of Khaine have gone at the top, and Steve's gone at the bottom. Before we get into the information about the lists, what's important to note is that both armies are 4-drop armies. Why that's really important. 4, by the way, is pretty much the competitive number at the minute. You're either below 4, or if you're sitting around 5 or 6 as drops, you might as well just go for as many drops as you like, realistically. A lot of people in ACM at the minute running MSU armies specifically so that they can just counter deploy and just be like, cool, I'm not getting the first turn, but I'm going to know where your threats are and put my threats somewhere else.
Yep.
That's kind of a current top level meta conversation at the minute, but more on that another day. Stephen AOS, yeah, we are hashtag sponsored by Oku Cafe.
Yeah, Oku Supermarket.
Yeah, Oku
I think it
Supermarkets
was.
is who currently sponsor us for your finest olive and whole lamb needs.
Yeah, if you need a whole lamb, they've got one. It's just hanging in the shop. Excellent.
So, but both armies being a 4-drop means that you roll off to see who deploys first, and by deciding who does deploy first, you also decide who gets to choose who goes as first, which is a really big deal. Because in Age of Sigmar, and I know you guys know this, but I'll just double explain it for someone who's new, and this happens to be what they watch. Whoever finishes deploying first gets to choose who goes first, and there's a huge tactic in list building around that and getting into that
important.
field. It is. So that means that Steve Steve at the bottom, he won the roll-off, he chose the sides, and I know that that's a double advantage for him, because this piece of terrain that you can see right here in the center is commanding, or not in the center bottom is commanding, which is important because Steve's army is CP heavy, so it's going to use a lot of command abilities or command points, so it wants to use its CP as often as it can. So that's going to be really, really important. So he not only did he get the choice to go first, which is a huge tactical advantage, he also got the piece of terrain he wanted. So it's really come up Steve's way today. Do you think that luck will continue?
Well, we'll see, won't we? I think it'll be interesting to see two armies that fought it out for best army last season, going at it in a new season, I think.
Yes, I think it's going to be a real smasher of a game. So Steve's going to choose to go first, and we've seen deploying happen now. We'll talk about the list in a minute, but before we do, we should talk about the scenario and why this is so polarizing. This is knife to the heart, so you can see the two objectives on the screen.
Yep.
Now, if you're a coward, you play for a minor on knife to the heart. Yeah. You only heroes and the brave. Yeah. In fact, no, just the regular people play for a win.
Yep.
And if you ever play for a minor on knife to the heart, you're a flat coward.
Agreed. Fully agreed. Knife to the Heart, I think, always tends to appear in a tournament pack where they almost want to kind of break that point, right? Because you're either playing for a major, at which point you could lose, but otherwise you're playing it safe and you're playing for that minor. And if loads of people are doing that, it then cuts out those people who pushed and won that major, I think.
Exactly. Now, there's a huge amount of risk in this because both of these two armies, so what you have to do is by the beginning of battle round 3, you have to control both objectives using the standard controlling objectives here and here, right? But both of these two armies have got some pretty key units, which means you can't just jump off your objective. Like, for instance, Steve can't send all of his army forward and murder this army. And the reason is because there are 2 units of Kynrian Heart Renders just hidden in the sky. And they just drop down and go sneak and get that. So that's annoying.
Yep.
Similarly, Pieter can't just charge his whole army off and whomp at his opponent because Steve is a Flesh Eater Courts army and he can just summon on a cheeky unit of ghouls at the back here or a cheeky unit of ghouls at the back here and come and take the objective as well. So you have to play a dicey game. So one of the two players has to commit, and I think what we'll actually see going into it is we won't see anything happen until about turns. I don't think you'll see an early committal. I think turns 1 and 2 will just fly by, and then we'll be playing Seat of Our Pants Warhammer, because what you basically are doing is you're running to the priority roll. Getting to there, getting your buffs up is important especially for the Daughters of Khaine, but also is important for the Flesh Eater Courts to some degree. You're just getting your buffs up, and then you're just waiting for the perfect time strike and probably setting yourself up for a double. It's all in, it's like poker, just all cards in, and it's very exciting and tense.
Cool. Yeah, I think that there's always a point of castling here, so it'll be kind of almost who breaks that castle first, right? To see where that goes.
But it's whether I don't think you'll even see your movement into the midfield. Again, if you guys are watching, Irish Minotaur says I am excited. You guys should be really excited. If you guys actually want to jump in and press the BIP so you can look at the list, we'll talk about them now.
Yeah.
So have you? Yeah. So for the Flesh Eater Courts for Steve's list. So he's got a Blisterkin army.
Yep.
Yeah, so that gives him +2 move on all of his flayers, of which he's got a unit of 9, a unit of 3, and another unit of 3. Those and the Crypt Infernal Courtier are inside Deadwatch Battalion, which allows him to pile in an attack in the hero phase.
Yep. Which holds a lot of worth on.
Yeah, loads. Like those 9 Crypt Flayers not only are going to act in the combat phase, they're going to act in the hero phase if he gets the opportunity. Then he's got a unit of 10 Direwolves, which you can see screened out here, just to protect in case. Then he's got an Abhorrent. Oh, we've seen the handshake. We've seen the handshake and it's off. Oh, has Steve given him the first turn? I assume that he will have. We'll find out what it is.
To find out.
Yes, Steve has given him the first turn, so which means we've got Morathi on the board. I'll finish off the list here. So there's obviously an Abhorrent Ghoul King on Royal Terrorgeist, and he's got the Griff of the Charm, which gives him +1 to move, and he has got -1 to hit. He's also got Spectral Host, which is run and charge, and his mount trait is the same mount trait that every single mount in a Flesh Eater Courts army has. Gruesome Bite, which is re-rolls to hit.
I wonder why.
Yeah, he's also got his Crypt Infernal Courtier has also got -1 to shoot in an AoE bubble of 6 inches, which is the Eye of Heesh, but won't be really useful against these. Morathi's got a shooting attack though.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the thing. And then there's an Abhorrent Art Regent. Again, he's got the Hellish Orator is his command trait. So on a 4+, Steve will generate an extra CP, and his Law of Madness is Deranged Transformation, which is +4 inches to move. So effectively, what you're looking at is he can put 17-inch move on his Abhorrent Ghoul King on Terrorgeist, and then run and charge.
Charming. Absolutely charming. I mean,
Would you say a Griffeather Charm?
Well.
Yeah. Oh, finally, he's also got the Horrorghast Endless Spell, which is the one from not Malign Portents. It is from Forbidden Power.
Yep.
And what that does is gives you -1 bravery to units within 3 inches.
Yep.
Within 6 inches, and -2 with units within 3.
Which is super good when you want to scream at them.
With the flayers.
Yeah.
It's really, really important. It basically is how his unit ticks. He's got a combat shoot, a very fast but short range shooting army.
Yep.
And then a combat army, and it's all in the same. So, like the output on those flayers, really interestingly, is doubled. Really, it's his shooting unit and his combat unit all at once. So, and he's also got that old Ghoul King on Terrorgeist. They're not bad.
Well, yeah,
They've been known to be good.
They're not a pleasant experience.
No, for anyone.
Some people bring 5.
So now Peter's list. So he's got a list we've seen before. So he's got Doctor's Khaine army with Hagnar, and it's from the realm of Ashqui. He's got Morathi, who we've just seen transform there with Mindrazor. We've got Slaughter Queen on Cauldron of Blood. She's the general with Devoted Disciples, Ignac Scale. So she ignores Mortal Wounds on a 4+. Sorry, and she's got Catechism and Murderers of Prayer. A Hag Queen, 90 points, still too cheap with the Iron Circlet. 30 Sisters of Slaughter, 30 Witch Elves. 10 Sisters of Slaughter, and as talked about before, those 2 units of 5 Kenrian Heartrenders in Slaughter Troop. He starts off with 2 CP, starts off with 2, and because he's got his first turn, it's up to 3 CP.
Yep.
So it's going to be very interesting. Don't forget also the Deadwatch unit is going to be able to Deadwatch flying characters are going to be able to relocate themselves and fly across the board,
which is. It's just lovely, right?
Well,
if you want to move fast, it's got to be done.
So Twitch chat and everyone, how everyone's like, do I watch the snooker or do I watch the Warhammer? I can't. I'm going to go for the Warhammer personally.
Yeah, well, yeah, why not?
It's a cooler sport. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
Better commentary.
Didn't he do well? Not sure why that's happened. James looks fresh on a Sunday morning. What is this heresy? That's exactly right. So if we go and look, can we just take a moment to talk about Peter's army, because it is beautiful. So really lucky to be able to get it on the stream, and lucky that he's already won 3 games. Both these players have won 3 games, so they potentially are going to win the tournament. So that's what they're playing for, which is why he's going early doors. He's put Morathi out. Look at that. He's done it.
So good.
Pretty good. Well done. And obviously got, I like that, Mindrazor, and Witchbrew's already been put on those units as well. I wonder if he's going to move across Do you think he's going to move aggressive? I think what he's actually going to do is he's going to create some board space early doors.
Yeah, and I guess, Marathi's ability to not take that many wounds means that she can tank at the front, and you're not worried about your very expensive unit.
Yeah, it's actually a really interesting problem for Steve, because Steve can do horrific amounts of damage with most of his units in the game, but with that said, he has to. Marathi doesn't die for 2 turns.
Yep.
So if he doesn't deal with it on the first turn, then she's still around late game, which means she's threatening these back objectives.
Yep.
So he has to lock her in with combat or start dealing with her. And actually, I think Marathi might tip the scales for Peter in this situation because of what she brings to the table in her unit choice.
Yeah, and I think she's a strong model, and she's not going to weaken in some areas that are going to upset. So leaving 15 direwolves at the back to hold that objective is not going to stop Marathi.
A strong warrior woman, yeah, bold, powerful, ceaseless in her rage because of the stolen souls,
and beautifully painted.
But talking about someone else who is full of rage, full of anger, but also beautifully painted, is a man who needs no introduction, but I'll give him one anyway. Some people say that he's half man, half myth, half grot, and how that possible, no one knows. Mr. Donal Taylor, everyone.
Hey guys, welcome to LGT Day 2 with the Honest Wargamer and me, the grot terrorist, not allowed to mention food on Twitter, Taylor. So the top 10 tables, I'll do a quick rundown. I'm sure Rob's already covered some, but we've got Darren versus Philip, Change Host versus Fire Slayers, or Russia versus England if you want to follow the ETC. And can Russia redeem itself? Probably, maybe. Darren's a good player, but this is knife to the heart, and Fire Slayers are going to be quite strong. Table 2, we have Jack Armstrong versus Ben Mardo. So that's Storm Fiends versus Slanesh. So we're going to see whether or not the Jack Armstrong TM build of Storm Fiends is better than Slanesh and can actually shoot off the heroes. Then we're obviously covering Table 3, that's Daughters versus Feck. Nice to see Daughters in the top 3 because who hasn't missed them? Johnny Armstrong on Table 4 versus Tech, so that's Skaven versus Deepkin. That Skaven doesn't have any Storm Fiends because Plague Monks are still bent. Who knew? Then we've got Leo versus David on Table 5. That's Iron Jaws versus Slanesh. That Slanesh has Kairos because, again, it's apparently 2016. And I know that joke's been made, but Darren's quite funny. Craig versus Collie on on Table 6. That's Change Host versus Fire Slayers. Honestly, I think we're back in 2016 or 17. Then Table 7, we have Sylvaneth versus Sylvaneth. That actually should have been Sylvaneth versus Stormcast, but the Stormcast player unfortunately had to drop out because he lost a game. Then Table 8, we have that actually should have been, that's Fire Slayers versus Sylvaneth. So again, Sylvaneth doing quite well. Table 9, it should have been Danielle with the Change Host, but he's dropped out. So that opponent is now playing the Table 7. That's the Sylvaneth versus Sylvaneth. And then Table 10, we have Khorne versus Feck. So really good breakdown of the top 10. We've got 3 Change Host, 3 Fire Slayers, 2 Skaven, 3 Sylvaneth, and then Iron Jaws, Khorne, Deepkin, South Coast, Stormcast Eternals, and Daughters. So quite a good breakdown. I'll try to provide as much coverage as possible of the first, or of Table 2 and 1 and 2. So Table 1, we have Darren, as mentioned. They're still deploying, so not much to say. But it is knife to the heart, so it'll probably be over by turn 3. Good games. Then Jack against the Slanesh. Jack was given turn 1, which is probably the only good play I've seen against Jack this weekend, because Jack's had an easy run, or a bunny run, as I said, where the Slanesh player decided not to just run into him. Hashtag not Luvo. Whatever. So Jack has cast Death Frenzy on the Plague Monks because that's fun. War Power on the Storm Fiends because that's fun. And Immune to Battle Shock on the Clan Rats because why not? He's getting all his spells off. We'll see whether or not Ben wins the double and can take Jack off. I doubt it. And I think we'll actually see whether or not the Storm Fiends are good in the current meta, because apparently I'm taking Storm Fiends to Facehammer next weekend. And if Jack can win with them, Dono can. Maybe. Other than that, I'm done. I will be back with an update whenever we see some games finish early. Thank you very much.
Half man, half myth, half legend.
And not riding a wolf today.
And not riding a wolf today, but I've heard that he, after losing his cycle, he's decided that he's only going to ride a wolf around London now. That's his new strategy. And he's about that. So while Donal was giving us that great feedback from the table, I did hear, I went to the tabletop, had a little talk with the players, and absolutely, oh wow, Steve's crotch looks fantastic.
Doesn't it just?
Yeah, he's just a good-looking man. Talking about good-looking man, the event organizer for the AOS side of the LGT, it's a guy called Mark Wilson. Mark's done loads for the community that we don't talk about enough. He's kind of the man behind the scenes, keeps himself quite quiet generally, and he is an absolute babe and legend. So if anyone ever gets the opportunity to like talk to Mark or you meet him, I'm not 100% sure he's going to be in the Age of Sigmar playing for a while, but he's just a great guy, and I just want to thank him for having us here at the event. Anyway, the goss I heard from the tabletop from Steve, and there he is, gorgeous man that he is playing, is that it's just going to be a lot of posturing.
Yep.
It's just going to be a lot of posturing. As we talked about, Peter's first turn's over, and they're all going to
do some peacocking, I think.
Yeah, they're just going to do some peacocking. They're going to keep doing very small incremental movements forward. The priority role is going to be actually quite important for who gives what turn away. I think what you'll find is Steve will try and give the turn away.
Yeah.
And keep that double turn in his back pocket, which is the advantage. If Peter wins the priority role, I wouldn't be surprised if he gives it to Steve to try and flip that like balance of power.
Yeah, I think both people here want to almost play for a double turn as well, right? So
I mean, because of the way the armies are structured, they have to. They both have to commit at a certain point and then hope that they can pile in. Where it gets really interesting is that piece of terrain, as discussed before, right here. You can see it's commanding.
And it happens to be right next to a throne.
It does happen right next to a cardinal throne
that might like CP.
Yes, absolutely love CP. And if you look, Steve's army is already at 5 CP, and he's going to be looking to just generate that up as much as possible. Yeah. It's a really, really interesting game because it's knife to the heart. If you guys haven't seen that yet, that's what we're looking at. So knife to the heart. So you're going to have to secure both objectives after turn 3. The issue is with this strategy for Steve, as we talked about, I think Marathi's the issue. His hidden agenda, by the way, is that he has to kill Marathi. So here at the LGT, there are 2 hidden agendas. Yeah. So he has to, at some point, commit into Marathi and that entire... And if you haven't played Daughters of Khaine yet, yes, they are... Oh, okay. Hold on. So we're going to quickly go to the priority role. As you can see, Peter is red, and Steve... Steve's won it, and I imagine he's going to give it to Peter.
Yeah,
so we'll find out what that is.
He's going to have a think, and
there we go, yeah. So
see what happens.
He's just going to measure, because it's whether or not Marathi's going to be... Because Marathi might be used to tie up the army, which will slow... Like, then the Daughters units can just slow forward.
Yep.
But I don't think that's what he's going to do. I think he's going to give the turn away. I think he wants them to commit Marathi. If he loses Marathi early and can swarm him...
Yeah, and I think he's still got to think about those schools appearing back here, right? So even still, if Marathi's tying up his army, he can't commit too far with everything.
Yeah.
And the turn's been given away, and Daughters of Khaine will be
Called
going.
it. Let's get. This is going to be fun. This is all of us. The drama of this game, as of yet, is going to be nothing for the first 2 turns. That's where we're all in it together in the excitement. And I genuinely am getting excited. Can't be too much, otherwise I'll have to go to hospital for my heart. But
if everyone can try not to get Rob excited, because I don't want to go to hospital today.
I'm hype as hell. Everyone at home now, I can see that First Brain Squig Nick is in the chat. He's a great Daughters of Khaine player. Big love to him. He'll know like how powerful the Marathi as a piece is. I don't think... so let's talk about... I don't think Peter's going to commit. I think that was posturing. This was, I'm going to do something. And I think what he's going to do is he's going to wait, I think. He might even... Yeah, I think he's going to wait.
So I think Marathi's put Cataclysm of Murder on herself.
Is it Cataclysm or Catechism?
Catechism, maybe?
Yeah, it could be Catechism.
Cataclysm, apparently, from the table.
Yeah, so there is only one endless spell in this particular game of Age of Sigmar in the Horrorghast. So that's going to be cast at some point from over here.
Yeah.
I'm feeling. But we're going to find that out. But it's not going to go yet. because more than everyone, so we're already into turn 2. Oh, I love it. It's so exciting. Because you're basically waiting for the off.
Yeah.
It's a bit like deployment, but they get straight into it. Yeah. There you go. So Peter's being really sensible and measuring. I personally feel that this little line here is bait. Let's go have a little peruse of that over there. As you can see, that there. Thank you very much. I think those dogs are a big chunk of bait for Morathi to deal with, because those flayers are going to be able to. He can either relocate the Ghoul King and Terrorgeist. He can relocate this unit. He can move them so fast.
There's the interesting point as well, where he's up kind of left. And I'm going to take this at an estimate, but there looks like there's probably enough room back here to deploy those Canary.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously it's not the sensible option, but there's debate of almost thinking about it for the next turn, and it'd be interesting to know whether that's kind of in his thought process of making him want that so much.
Oh, okay. Peter was not posturing, and he's going in, which is cool. So he's going to try and hold up the army.
Okay.
Or it's still posturing, and he's still there, creating a zone. A big question to everyone in the chat: who do you want to win? If you are one of the subscribers on Twitch, then you're going to be able to use the emoticon. There's a red and a blue. Obviously, red is for Daughters of Khaine. Blue is for Flesh Eater Court, so feel free to use either. And also, if you want to look at the list, you can click the BIP button on the overlay. Okay.
So yeah, Morathi all the way up the board. So it'd be interesting to know whether this measuring that was done here is to see. So I think the range on her spear in that form's about 3 inches. So maybe he's trying to charge a unit and poke over the top.
Yeah, I would say so. And again, like, what he's doing is he's just protecting these flanks from those inevitable summons that are going to come from the Charnel Throne.
Yep.
So if you haven't played against Fresh Eater Courts, what happens is they've each, the Ghoul King on Terrorgeist, the Abhorrent Ghoul King, are going to be able to summon some units on the if they're near the Charnel Throne, for free. Although Steve currently sat on 5 CP to do what the hell he likes with, and Daughters of Khaine sat on 4 CP, so they're all laughing. In the chat, everyone's voting blue. Everyone wants Flesh Eater Courts to win. So there we go. Thank you on everyone who's joined us on Twitch, by the way.
Yeah.
Appreciate you being here.
So early on a Sunday morning.
So early on a Sunday morning. I tell you what, I can't wait to one day, James, Chucklebeat, I know you're in the chat there. One day I'm going to let all you guys just do a weekend of coverage, and I'm going to sit at home in my jammers, yeah, decaf cup of tea, yeah,
Important.
sat there, yeah, with my toast, and I'm just going to watch some quality Warhammer. It's going to be great fun. Right, let's go look at Morathi kicking. Look at this lady. She is. Oh, what? What's happened? Yeah. She is. Number one, can we just talk about the paint job Peter's done there? No messing. But she's just facing off an entire army, and she just doesn't care. She's completely on her own, unsupported. An amazing gaming piece, realistically. Yeah. Her and Gotrek definitely have got this kind of like almost polarizing nature in the game now in what they can and can't do. Yeah. And they're pieces you have to play around, which I do enjoy. It makes it like I say chess, but I don't think it's like that at all. It's very unique, I think, to tabletop wargaming, and there's this unique problem that you have to fix with some of the other problems. It feels like it makes it very tactical and nuanced.
I think so. For me, weirdly, and a few people might know, a few people might not. So I think I knocked out a Morathi in a week. My Morathi for a doubles event. And I think the best part about playing it as a model is it makes your opponent think about something that no other model makes them think about.
Yes, that makes sense. Yeah, it does. It makes you do something that, like, and as Nick is saying in the chat, which is a good point, which I hadn't really realised, so thank you, is the key with Morathi is to not lose wounds in your own turn.
Yep. Because
she can only take 3 wounds a turn. That also means that she can take, so if she doesn't charge this turn, which is going to be really interesting, then she's going to take 3 in Steve's turn, go into the priority roll.
Yep.
Even whoever wins, she'll take 3 then.
Yep.
So she'll be up for the priority roll after.
Yep.
As long as she doesn't take any mortal wounds from the endless spell stage in between, but there aren't any on the board to do that.
No. And I'm not sure, is it the spells in the list that are going to do that?
No, Horrorghast doesn't do any mortal wounds.
So
just does bravery debuffs. Now, to be fair, if he does charge the dogs, it's very unlikely the dogs are going to do any wounds back. So he's shot. There we go. So he's broken coherency there with that shot in the middle. That's pretty big. Left himself potentially a gap. Blazinix, thank you so much for joining the knee stabbing gang. Appreciate that loads. Thank you to everyone who subscribed. FYI. Means a bunch to us. Let's just do the show. So that means I think we've seen the end of that.
Oh.
Okay, so there was a failed charge. Marathi did try to charge, failed it, and then re-rolled it and failed it again. And that is not a long distance, really, like 8 or 9 inches. So that's really tough. So now we're going into Flesh Eater Court's turn 2.
But we've seen a loss of 5 wolves, I think, on this flank.
Yes, we have. We've seen 5 whole wolves. Did.
Straight from the break of turn 2. Well, not really. I mean, it's still lots of peacocking, right?
Rob said he would send me him in a bikini when he subbed, but he lied. Well, I'll try and sort that out for you.
There you go.
That should be something that I try to achieve.
So what do we think, Twitch chat? What do we think is going to happen in Steve's turn now? Do we think these Flesh Eater Courts are going to respond to that Marathi, or think about how they counter this?
Okay. I'm not sure, to be honest. I think it's going to be very tense.
Yeah.
It's going to be and very, very interesting. I think obviously he's going to commit into Marathi, but he's the mistake is thinking that Marathi's the key piece.
Yeah.
Marathi is a giant bag of bait.
Yeah.
Yeah, she is there just like, come on, whereas this is the horror of the Daughters of Khaine. It's really nice, actually, the Daughters of Khaine army. The more I see it played, the more I really appreciate it from a design perspective. It's abhorrent to play against.
Yep.
Absolutely. But this is really good.
Yeah.
This is really good, and they work independently.
Yeah.
And I kind of like it structurally. And then you've got off board the 2 units of Kinrian Heart Renders, which is.
I think for me it's interesting too, right? Because narratively, these 2 sets working independently works as well, because all Marathi wants is what's best for herself.
Yes. Yeah.
She's not really bothered about the rest of them.
No, she's not. She's not. And we have seen that the 9 flayers have got the spell cast on them from the Abhorrent or Art region, which gives them +2 attacks. And we've got the Endless Spell Horrorghast cast right on Marathi. That means that she's going to be screamed at, which is such a smart play.
Yeah.
Because what Steve's doing is doing damage without taking any damage in return.
Yeah, and I think so. Taking those wounds in shooting and not bothering to charge her is always going to be a good decision, right?
Yeah, I think so.
So we can see some wolves moving forward at this point. And we're kind of, I guess, seeing some board control and some screening, maybe to stop kind of this unit coming forward here and getting towards that point, because obviously that's what's going to matter now coming into this next turn. So yeah.
Okay, so again, just more posturing. Get excited, everyone, like when the committal's happening. And what's nice about this is from Peter, and I got to say, I haven't seen Peter play before, and I'm really appreciating it. Yeah, so big shout out to him. I love watching some good Warhammer. What he's doing is he's giving Steve opportunities to make mistakes.
Yep.
Which that's some really, really top play. There's just not making mistakes. That's always really important.
Yeah, it helps.
Always really important. We saw that in the game yesterday. And then there's forcing your opponent to make mistakes. So what Steve's doing now is he's showing, no, look, you've given me options, and I'm a big fan of Steve Curtis as a Warhammer player, FYI. He's like, you've given me options. I'm not going to mess about. Yeah, I'm not going to take any damage. Such solid play. I'm just going to do my 3 wounds to you. I'm still going to screen, so if I lose the turn and you decide to take it, I'm still safe, but I can counterattack here. Like, it's really, really good, really well played. I'm a big fan of watching Steve play. But also, I think Peter's given him some interesting options.
Yeah, and it's we've obviously got, although not a combat committal, we've got the committal of 9 there to kind of to make sure he gets those 3 wounds off.
Yes.
So I think that's important too, right?
Yeah, also Steve recognising, and as Nick has put in the chat, the 2 units of 5 heart renders, which is 10 models
Yep.
For scoring, they can land, and that when they land outside of 9, they can still move.
Yep.
Sort of 4+. But when they do, potentially it's 10 models you can put outside the objective. So screening so that they can't land, because it's no good just screening so that they can't. Because they can move as well. Does that make sense? You have to almost screen so that they can't even land off the board.
Yep.
So it's really important to create these denial zones here, here, and here. So I think that's really interesting.
So we're about to see the deployment of 20 ghouls.
Oh, okay. So, there we go, on the backfield. So a defensive deployment. So, which is the Ghoul King on Terrorgeist.
Yeah, so a CP's been spent.
A CP's been spent. That I'm almost certain that it's the Ghoul King on Terrorgeist that's done that. And why that's important? Obviously, he's about to get in the fight. So if he gets lost, that could be pretty devastating. I don't think he's going to be lost, by the way, but we'll talk about that later. But also, it means that there's not 20 ghouls that's threatening this backboard edge.
Yeah.
Which is fine. And Steve's obviously setting up for turn 3 priority. He doesn't want to get caught out, so he's playing it super safe, which is sensible, but he's playing for the win. The threatening nature, it means that there's only 2 more potential summons coming into the backfield here. Steve wants to keep hold of them because he wants Peter to not be able to leave that backfield objective.
Yeah, or at least leave some of his army and break up kind of that Daughters of Khaine.
Yeah.
Wrecking ball, for lack of a better term.
Yeah. So if you guys are interested about how the CP's been generated, Steve sat on commanded terrain. He started with a battalion, so that's 1. He paid an extra CP, so that's 2.
Yep.
Yeah. You can see the lists, by the way, if you press the BIP tab. That he then has sat on commanding, which gets him another 1 a turn on a 4+. He's got an artifact, which gives him another 1 on a 4+.
Yep.
And we're already in turn 2, and they've spent no CP.
Nope. So we've just seen 1 spent, haven't we, to summon this pile here.
Yes.
And I believe this bunch are now shooting here.
Yeah. So thank you in the chat, everyone, catching everyone up with how that's happening. Yes. Thank you very much, Eternal Bard. It's the Archregent that summoned the ghouls.
There we go.
And it's the Ghoul King on Terrorgeist that can summon the knights. So the Archregent's used his summoning. Maybe I don't know how to get that many CP since I play KO. You also don't need it, to be honest, if you're playing KO.
Well,
I mean, reroll 1s to hit's nice. You can use that, with the new General's Handbook and the new command points being used. But here we go. So you can see shooting into Marathi there. Is everyone still... Oh, no, wait, the ghouls went in.
So they are charging into Marathi.
Ah, what? It's just giving her free combat.
So, did we see any wounds go onto Marathi in the shooting phase?
So we'll find out about that, because he may not have done the 3.
Yeah, did we see 3 wounds go into Marathi in the shooting phase?
So he's going to find that out for us now, our table boss, John. Thank you very much.
We didn't expect this to happen, I guess. So them staying kind of slightly defensively and making sure that they're still kind of blocking this area is important. From those Canaries is big.
Because he only did 1 mortal wound to Marathi in the shooting phase, which he's got to be really upset about. Because with Horrorgas, she's -2 bravery, so that means he's had to commit because he has to do those 3 damage per turn, which just means that unit of 9. I think Steve was set up so well, and that's such an unfortunate occurrence there. It's really, really big, which is why we've seen that charge.
Yeah.
Wow. Honestly, I've got shivers. I got shivers. This is really tense.
Yeah, and it's big to see. So that unit's only shooting into Marathi now.
Yes, it is. And also, it's set up. Marathi, for instance, Marathi can stay there in combat, but I think the smart play from Peter, Marathi can just fight back through.
Yep.
Just keep hitting into these guys, but Marathi could also just go, do you know what? I'll sit down here. And then this unit will come in, and now they're in the midfield, which is scary AF.
Yeah.
Yeah. Brucey, if you look on the overlay, you'll see that it's Peter versus Steve Curtis. And I haven't seen Peter play before, but I'm definitely loving the tight game of Warhammer that he plays. Really big fan. Playing it really well, in my opinion. So there we go. There's a little close-up of that fight. Gorgeous army from Peter. And Steve Curtis' army is really nice as well. Those Death armies always really interesting. I mean, the train sucks. But
Whoa, not that half a health for. That's amazing.
Look at that. That's just a great little fight. Really cool. Again, thank you to everyone on the Honest Wargamers supports the show, who's been able to help us get these glorious
So
cameras.
we're about to priority roll.
Oh, okay, wow. Okay, there we go. Steve has won it.
And Steve's taking the turn.
Because he's definitely going to commit now.
Yeah.
Really, really interesting. So, yeah, Steve won 2 of those priority rolls. He's won priority 2 and priority 3.
And had choice of first turn.
Yeah, and had choice of first turn, and he's taken this one. So he gave away the last turn, and so he's literally he's given himself that good old double. So I'm going to be really interested to see what he decides to do here.
So Horrorghast's moving.
Nice. He's going to the first thing he's going to do is unbind Horrorghast, almost certain. That'll be his first play. The first thing you do in the hero phase is unbind Horrorghast.
So he's healing his flayers first.
Oh, right, yes.
And bringing the one that died back. I bet Marathi's really
I can't
pleased.
believe Marathi did. I would be surprised if Marathi only did that much damage.
They're the good swing of wounds, though, right?
But she has taken her 3 damage now. Okay, that's fine. That's fine.
Yeah.
So she's taken her 1 damage. ATM. So her 3 damage. So she's going to take another 3 this turn. But she's still got Peter's turn and the turn after alive. And she does get a little bit worse when she's been wounded. But she's still a threat, especially to things like these ghouls or the Arc Regent. We'll find out exactly where he is on the tabletop in a moment. I'll go find that out.
I think he was hiding somewhere, maybe around here.
Yeah.
Off the top of my head.
If you guys look on the UI, so if you guys look on the overlay on the left, you'll see what turn we're on. The dashes obviously represent turns that have happened and empty spaces where they are.
And you can see a horrific 9 CP.
A horrific. Flesh Eater Court's army with 9 CP is not something that I ever want to see.
No.
So Steve's also going to be able to make, by the way, this unit of flayers engage in the hero phase because they're Dead Watch. So that means he doesn't have to commit them into combat. He could even fly them off. I personally wouldn't, because I would want Marathi to stay locked in. But he could. But that is his big punch unit. I don't know. They're wasted there a little bit.
Yeah, I guess maybe. So I think earlier in the chat someone discussed about not charging Marathi in your own turn, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
So maybe forcing that's sensible. Forcing that for next turn is sensible. Forcing her to commit to continuing to do something again.
It's tense, right?
Yeah. So these are now fighting in the hero phase, and they've done 3 mortal wounds.
So they've done what they need to do. I'd be interested to see if Steve then just withdraws them out of combat, because he doesn't need to. He gains nothing.
Yeah, because she's just going to hit them.
She's just going to hit them. So if he just brings them out of combat and screens with them.
Yeah. So, but he's still going to need them somewhere around here, right, to hold off Marathi. But yeah, there's no point them staying in combat.
Literally no point. Which is such a cool move.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like, I've done my 3 wounds, I'll leave. Letting Marathi do, almost playing her against herself, be like, I don't need to do any more, I can deal with this. I mean, she didn't kill more than 1 anyway last turn, and he can heal.
Yeah.
But you always play to the safest option, and why would you just give someone something?
Yeah, and you're almost, once she's gone, I know she's, like we've said, she's operating independently really from the rest of the army, isn't she? But once she's gone, he's lost that big kind of giant threat unit.
Absolutely.
So I'm interested to see whether this is gonna come forward now and try and stop all of this. I think it will probably kill itself, but is it worth holding it all back for a turn?
I don't know.
It's been buffed to the high heavens.
I don't think Steve's going to go in yet, because it's going to go really fast. I don't think this is going to be. So he's going to see if he can fly the flayers over Marathi.
Yeah.
Almost certain that's going to be the option there.
So the feedback that's just come from the table is that Steve was very tempted to make this charge and has made an adult decision and decided to not.
Okay. Well, that's good.
Which is very good for his game.
Yeah.
But not as exciting for us to get to jump up and down about.
No, it is because it's just building the pressure. It's absolutely. Steve is literally Warhammer edging us.
We're not sure.
Close to the edge.
We're not sure if Steve's trying to slowly make Rob's heart go again. which might be something we have to talk about after the game.
Because the Warhammer community stop this. He can now retreat them out and move in a block of 20 ghouls that he summoned, blocking Marathian. Yeah, that's exactly what we were talking about. So there we go. He has actually fallen out of combat, which is the smart play. Yeah, just not giving Marathi the damage. So just some really interesting counterplay because of the battalion that Steve has.
Yep.
Yeah, like, you know, there's not many armies, and Daughters of Khaine are one of them that can pile in the hero phase.
Yep.
And so just a good move. I don't think Peter's decision there was bad, but I do think Peter should have waited a turn because he's still got loads of turns to go through.
He has. I guess it's that decision, right? He got to either decide he was going to commit that and try and see what happens, and you know, we've both kind of said, haven't we, that we would have expected Marathi to do more damage. So I guess maybe he was hoping to take more of them out, because even then, if they'd have healed, there'd have been less on the board. And we all know now at this point, those objectives are about weight of numbers.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm just someone's asked if we get a close-up of the Daughters of Khaine.
Yeah.
There they are. Absolutely stupendous army. Gorgeous. So there's the Sisters of Slaughter. Look at those. Look at that basin. Unfortunately, the terrain. Look at that. Is that non-metallic metal?
Yes, it is.
That is unreal. Can we just get... Yeah, let's see what we can get on that. That is crazy beautiful. That is ridiculous. Look at that witch elf.
I told you this was pretty.
This isn't pretty. This is like... This is amazing. Wow, look at that. That looks phenomenal. The colours are so vibrant. Yeah. That is unreal. And a whole army of that is a nightmarish. I'll try and actually get the other camera from the other side to help you out, so you guys can see a nicer a shot from the other side. But there we go. I'll try and sort that out for you guys. If it'll work. Not. Oh, it will. There we go.
There he goes. So the Wolves are coming forward to screen a bit more. So there's kind of, I guess, lots of defensive movement.
Yes.
And kind of and posturing, more peacocking.
Loads of posturing. So there we go. There's another shot of that.
Loads of peacocking.
Of that insane army. That is unreal. Realistically, look at that. I'm a big fan. Really big fan. That looks fabulous. We're super lucky. Thank you, Peter, for bringing that on the stream. So we go. It's the end of Steve's turn. So let's look what Steve's done. Set himself up a defensive line. Smart move. Set himself up a block. Smart move. Created a gap here and zoned out where he can. And so now we're into Peter's turn 3. And again, if we get a dash on the overlay for Steve's turn, just so people know where we are, that would be great. Yeah, look at that zoom. It's just crazy pretty, right?
Yeah, and so maybe more people will start rooting for that Daughters of Khaine army now, just so those models don't have to leave the table.
I think you're gonna be hard pushed to get them off the table anyway. Daughters of Khaine, their souls. When people say Daughters of Khaine are angry, yeah, I don't think you're like quite getting into the narrative of it. Their souls were eaten. Their souls from the old world, eaten, stored inside the belly of a tormenting god for aeons, then soul leached out by your queen Marathi and given a pair of knives and told it's everyone else's fault. Yeah, they are me on a Monday morning on the way to. That's not true. I love my job, but you know. It's realistically a nightmare situation. While we wait to see what Peter does, I think we might have an update from Donald in a moment on the tabletop, but we'll come back to that. Oh, okay.
So I guess, they're super angry, and you know, considering those Daughters of Khaine are so angry, they've done quite well sitting at the back of the board.
They are, but they're just getting angrier.
Do you think?
They're
just pent up.
Getting angrier.
Do you think, as they're in England, though they might not be an English Warhammer army, this is a queue?
A queue for murder.
It's a queue for murder.
Would you say it's not the catechism of murder? It's the queuichism of murder.
I would say so. I mean,
it's
just a queuing system waiting, but they're not sure what they're waiting for. or which way they're going.
Yeah, they're just like, right, where are we?
They're not sure which
It's a
is
lot like the
front.
LGT lunch queue. Just
No. It's definitely more organised.
love DOK Law. Why I picked the army. Eyes boring into the back of another one. Yeah. So look at that. Like Peter's really got to make a decision here. Yeah. Now, interesting thing is he hasn't lost Marathi yet, and he's actually lost no units. If he just withdraws,
Yep.
yeah, Marathi back into the kind of defensive bubble, what he gets is a minor victory or a minor loss maybe.
Yep.
Yeah. So a really interesting play. Now, I don't think that that's what you should do, because only cowards don't go for the major victory here.
And their daughters are Khaine.
They are.
They just want to cut things.
They just want to cut things.
They don't want to queue.
But talking about people who cut things, this man cuts people with words like Daughters of Khaine cut people with knives. His name's Donald Taylor, and he's going to give us the update from the table.
Hey guys, some really exciting things going on table 1 and 2, and by exciting things I mean the table 1 with the Fire Slayers is just entering turn 1, so nothing really going on there, nothing to update you. I'm going to hold back until Rob's sitting down, because I want him to see his reaction on a personal level when I update on the Jack game. And the Lovo game, actually. Both of these deserve Rob reactions. So, what else do we have? We have Sylvaneth versus Sylvaneth. Sylvaneth is winning. Sylvaneth versus Deepkin. I was wrong about table 7. It's actually Sylvaneth versus Deepkin with the dropouts. 12 Eels managed to charge into all the Kernoth Hunters, so I'm going to come back for an update there. Now, an update for Jack, and I'm really looking forward to seeing Rob's reaction, and I know no one else can see this, so it's terrible TV. 2 keepers charge into some clan rats. Can we guess how many clan rats die? Rob, how many clan rats do you think die? 6. Yep. So if you can't be good, be lucky. And in Jack's case, he's very, very lucky. I'm only joking. He's probably quite good as a player as well. Now, Loricam. I've updated on Loricam. Lovo is against Skaven. What mistake did he make in the last game? He charged 15 evocators into some clan rats. What did he do this game? He charged 15 evocators into clan rats. It's fine. I'm sure it's fine. We're going to update you and let you know how many clan rats die. But whatever. I mean, it's not like it was captured on camera in the last game when he embarrassed himself against Jack Armstrong. But he's done it again. And it's probably fine. He doesn't realize what mistake he made. Or he didn't make a mistake and he's done the right strategy this time. In which case, 50% of the time, he's always right. Other games that are going on, we've got Laurie Huggett Wigbig on table 22. I've done Loricam. I actually had to split it into 2 different videos on Twitter because it takes so long to get to his table, and I didn't appreciate that when I started at table 1. But that's fine. He's probably going to rally today. He's playing against Seraphon. It sounded like his opponent was going to let Laurie win because his opponents want some sports votes, and we know that Laurie won't give any sports votes to people who beat him. But we also know Laurie's not winning sports this weekend because he doesn't take losing very well. Ben Sava is against Legions of Nagash, but when I looked at it, I did think it was Night Hunt because it was filled with Grimghast Reapers. He is actually playing the London Master, or not the London Master, but the London Super League champion. So it's the Ben Sava, the Master of London, versus Ben Murphy, the London Super League champion. So it's a London off at the LGT, unfortunately on table 11 or 12, because Ben lost yesterday in a glorious fashion to Darren after playing really badly, or making one mistake depending on how you play. And that is pretty much where we're up to at the minute. I'm going to try to keep you updated on Twitter. There's a lot going on. We've had some requests for more Zinch updates, so I'll follow Craig and see where his blue horrors are. Sorry, I've got a Craig. Actually, I can't complain about Craig. He's taken some models back from me. So Craig's a lovely guy with shit models, and also my models, so it's fine. And that's where we're up to today. I'm going to hand back to Rob and James if they're ready, or they're not ready. Oh, they are. Excellent. I will come back. I'll update you on table 1 when they finally move into turn 1.
Thank you so much, Donal. Welcome back to the Honest Wargamer coverage. What a legend. Appreciate hearing that. Also, if you can't be good, be lucky. Always a thing. So, welcome back to turn 3 of Battle Round 3 of Game 4 of the LGT 2019. Both these guys are on 3 wins. So, both Peter and Steve looking to take out the tournament, playing knife to the heart. We are in the bottom of turn 3, battle round 3. So now you can win the game.
Yeah,
it's knife to heart. You can auto win it as of turn 3. The some of the big things to see here is that Steve took the last turn, and he took that turn. He's taken that last turn. It's got super close, and now Peter is pushing. It looks like Peter's going to actually commit and start going for the charges. What do you think about that?
Yeah, I think it's interesting to see that kind of movement forward and the defensive play here, kind of around this back line of that objective. I guess to stop that back deployment. Oh, and we can see him measuring now. So look at that. Might have been the first time all weekend I was right. Yeah, so he's holding that back line still, but beginning to push that commitment. And I think what we wanted to see was that, right? Because no one wants a minor victory.
No one wants a minor. Only cowards go for minor victories on this scenario, and those are the cast iron facts. I'm just trying to get you a shot of this absolutely insane and beautiful Morathi. There she is.
We are super excited about this.
There you go. Look at that. Outrageously pretty.
With a wound dice.
With a wound dice on it. And his army is phenomenal, and I think the fact that he's already won 3 games is great. And from everything I've seen on the tabletop, he's playing a really good game of Warhammer as well. Just outrageously pretty. Yeah.
And it's come all the way from France?
Pardon me?
Has he come all the way from France to visit?
Peter is all the way from France. We will find that out. Making sure everyone knows that no, that would be the man we had on the stream yesterday.
Yes.
But he might be. We'll find out at some point from our table boss.
When it's not so intense.
Yeah, when it's not so intense. I can't stop looking at that Morathi though. Just crazy good.
Any distraction of Rob's is just him staring at Morathi.
It's so pretty.
Nothing else.
It's outrageous. Okay, so look, there we go. He's currently deciding again where to commit. I think what this setup here is set up for the double turn.
Okay,
but still a defensive. This unit is immune to battle shock, so it's safe. It's also got a rerollable save. So he's charged Morathi. Here we go. And it's gone into that unit of 9 flayers.
So she's charged 9 inches, I believe, is what she's got.
Okay, so again...
So some sticks?
Sticks way better than tape measures. Just always going to say it. Blaze Be Mad says Donal should host a show every week. I would love him to host a show every week on the Honest Wargamer. I think people would love that. Donal's Gossip Corner is what I'd call it.
Do you think the Warhammer community could handle it?
I don't think they don't. I think elements of the Warhammer community couldn't handle it, but that's their fault, in my opinion.
You could, like Friday Morning Truth with Donal.
Or just truth bombs. Yeah, little 2-minute segments. Truth bombs with Donal.
Okay, so just as a quick update, because it's actually really important, the 9 wasn't enough for him, so he re-rolled the charge, rolled a 4, and has decided not to charge.
Oh, really? Okay, so again, going off what we saw Nick say earlier in the chat, because he'd potentially be giving up 3 wounds in that turn. Morathi currently has only taken 6 wounds.
Yeah, so
she's still got 2 turns of being alive guaranteed. So with going into the priority roll next, he probably shouldn't. Oh, but he has made a massive charge.
There's been a massive charge
with the sort of Sisters of Slaughter. We're right in thinking that.
I think that's those Sisters of Slaughter going forward in a charge.
Yes.
Yeah, look at that.
There we go. So they rolled a. Peter rolled a.
Yeah, must be a huge roll. About an 8, I think. An 8's what's coming from the table. So it's a good, healthy charge.
Really healthy, absolutely. Is going to be piling in there. So what I think he's set up to do, in my opinion, is he's gone for the charge. He's going to hit the dogs, and he's going to kill the dogs.
Yep.
Then he's gonna eat that Ghoul King on Terrorgeist attacking twice.
Yep.
He's going to eat it up, which is going to be incredible. There's not many units in the game that can do that.
Yep.
Then he's hoping for that priority roll. Then he's going to pile in and attack in the hero phase. again, Pylon attacking the combat phase, and that should be the end. Now, I know what you're thinking. I can't believe that a unit is going to try and just handle the Ghoul King on Terrorgeist. But if there's a unit, apart from the big Fire Slayer blocks, if there's a unit that can handle it, it's that Daughters of Khaine unit there. Because they've got all the buffs on it, so they're re-rolling their saves.
And they're so pretty.
It's so pretty. so pretty.
Yeah, so they've charged forward with Witch Brew and Blessing on them. So
Dreadwood says Steve needs less tight shorts. Those fantastic on a Wargamer cameras are too high def for those.
Well, we could give him that feedback.
Yeah, we could. So as you can see, Daughters of Khaine armies often play like this. So they string out around the cauldron so they can continue to have the buffs, because a lot of their
just that little stringing queuing system.
yeah, the Daughters of Khaine queuing system again in action.
I think that's just how they play now.
Yeah, what's interesting is these Daughters of Khaine units character, or these witch elves, or these are actually Sisters of Slaughter, just more and more annoyed.
Yeah,
more and more annoyed as time goes on.
Maybe that's the system. Maybe you keep them in the queue.
Yeah,
they get more annoyed, and then they roll all sixes.
So because of the pile-in 6 inches, which those Sisters Slaughters have, some of them have been able to get in to the Ghoul King on Terrorgeist there. So that means there's going to be some damage coming in this turn.
Yeah, I mean, I as far as I'm aware, you can see the buffs there. It's buffed up to the 9, so it's going to hurt them. But I'm guessing now it's the committal phase, right?
Absolutely.
Of the game.
Yeah, you got this is the play for the win.
Yeah.
So this is what we've been sat on for the whole game. And what's interesting is what's happened.
Just that huge amount of pile-in.
So 6-inch pile in there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Really is moving those models forward.
I mean, their queue's falling apart.
Yep. There we go. I'd pull that back a little bit if I was measuring 6 inches, probably.
I think there was some excitement. It's the first charge of the game.
This might still be is this the charge still?
Yeah, it's still the charge.
Okay, this isn't the pile-in phase. We'll just double check this.
Yeah,
this is still the charge. So it's that he's got 8 inches of movement still that he's dealing with.
He's basically making sure that he can get as many forward, I think, while staying within the bubble system of that altar.
Well, that's solid. All right, good. Otherwise, that would have been an outrageous pile-in, but it's not. It's still the charge. That's just my keenness for the off. I'm excited. So there he is, measuring for the combat. Ooh. Who's your money on, ladies and gentlemen? Can the Ghoul King on Terrorgeist take out all the Witch Elves? See, the thing is this is 2 of the bad guys in Age of Sigmar.
Yep.
2 of the big players. A Sister Slaughter block versus Ghoul King on Terrorgeist.
I mean, technically, Daughters of Khaine are order. Doesn't that make them the good guys?
It makes them the good guys in the narrative. Yeah, although, I mean, we need to put an asterisk next to that. Yeah, I mean, come on. But does it make them the good guys in competitive Age of Sigmar or in T-Sports? No. They're one of the bully units that you see. But the Ghoul King on Terrorgeist, arguably one of the biggest bully units in the game. So, the Terrorgeist base is absolutely legal. It's the right base size, and there's nothing wrong with it in any way, shape, or form.
So if anyone missed it, the Terrorgeist got spun then, basically just because its wings are stupid and get in the way of everything.
So the artifacts that you see in rocking on that Ghoul King of Terrorgeist is a Griff Feather Charm.
Yep.
So it's -1 to hit, +1 move.
And there are 7, I believe.
And that actually works really well against Sister Slaughter. That little tiny -1 to hit. It doesn't sound like a lot, but it will make a difference. But not when they're, like the reroll to hit, reroll into wound. But any misses are good. It really lowers their reliability.
Yeah.
And also being Bravery 10 means that they're not going to be able to get extra damage.
Yeah.
So that's really big too. So we're now into the combat rolls.
So I believe 9 went through.
Into the Ghoul King on Terrorgeist?
Yeah.
Wow. Okay, so that's a good start.
Yeah.
Good start.
Oh, so those 9 attacks have become 1 wound. I don't think he's dying.
No, he's not dying.
And he's probably going to heal that in a minute.
That's a good start, though. That's a good start. That's a good start. So those dogs are going to die. Get them out of there.
That's just.
And I
taken
think,
off the
again,
table.
clever play not putting Marathi in. So you see Marathi over on the left there. Marathi didn't go charge in, so just left alive.
Yeah, 19 attacks going into those wolves.
19.
So there we go.
Yeah, they're out.
No one cares.
So it's now all about, and if anyone follows any Instagram models or any YouTubers, we're now in what's called the clapback phase. Yeah,
Yep.
yeah. This is when when someone claps back at you. It's a social media term. So here we go. Get ready, all. Get ready for the Ghoul King on Terror, guys. Clapback. He thinks he's a noble knight. Atop a mighty steed charging in to defeat evil, when really he's an undead monster trying to eat the hearts of some ladies with whips.
But maybe all the witch elves are insane, and actually he is a lovely knight on a beautiful steed.
Or maybe,
I mean, it's got wings, so I don't know how that works.
Maybe we're all insane. What really interesting in the next turn, both armies have got the capacity to pile in the hero phase, but only the Flayers can do it for the Flesh Eater Courts. Daughters of Khaine, they're not going to be able to. It's going to be this unit of here that can do it.
Here we go. We're going to see what happens, I guess.
Dreadwoods, if you actually click, if anyone who's watching live, and thank you for joining us live, if anyone clicks the BIP little button, you'll be able to grab the lists, as they say.
Yeah. So and a lot of people that have used it this weekend have said it's a super cool new feature.
Super cool new feature. But the list also will go on the Honest Wargamer website as well when we upload these as little VODs. But don't forget, you can always watch the Honest Wargamer content free. Everything we do is free.
So 12 damage was done by that Terrorgeist.
12. That's not too bad. That is not too bad at all. He's going to be fine with that.
Yeah, and I think he's
still making his 5. He's still making his rerollable 5 up.
Yeah.
So it's not going to be 12. It's going to be like 3. This is going to be 8 are dead.
8 died. Yeah.
Yeah, that's fine. Oh, Dreadman, thank you for subscribing. Thank you to everyone who subscribes. You don't have to, but supporting the show does mean that we get to bring you top table coverage like this, and also feed ourselves bananas.
Yeah, important.
Very important. Very important.
Healthy weekend, which for anyone that knows me is probably a surprise.
Dreadwoods, you can actually find the lists on Tabletop TO. If you want to, I'm sure John will type that in the chat for you. And if you just search for the event, which is LGT, they're actually stored in there as well. It's a great little site and really, really useful.
So unfortunately for those Sisters of Slaughter, I believe that Terrorgeist is going again.
Oh, okay. So lost 8.
Yeah.
Lost 8. Okay. We're into the links in the chat. No problem at all.
It's a 6.
You what?
A 6 hit the table, so someone's going to be happy on that Daughters of Khaine army. With the CP that Steve's got, so he's got rocking 8 CP. He's just that Good King on Terrorgeist is just going to be going again and again. But it's whether or not that unit he would have hoped to have done more. Yeah, I think so. So apparently 6 more wounds have just come out of that. So I think we might see more than 8 go maybe this time.
Yeah, I mean he could have potentially if I zoom out what he could have done is instead of charging the dogs, he could have just waited for the priority.
Yep.
And then if he loses the priority, the Ghoul King on Terrorgeist does the same thing.
Yep.
But then he's wounds up. But if he doesn't, then more of these get to pile in an attack. I definitely think that was probably maybe I don't know.
It'd be interesting to, I guess, the feedback that he felt maybe he'd have got more than 1 wound through.
Yeah, combat is such an interesting mechanic, which like the activation wars never really needed to happen because the turn mechanic is the interesting part of how you do combat. And as we've seen there, we've seen Steve's screen mean that he's stayed alive. So the combats that happen. We're into the priority.
Here we go.
Red is for Peter. Red is for Peter.
There's a nice handshake.
Oh, that's nice. Oh, Steve is over the moon. Steve is over the
and
moon.
that's 3 of 3 priority rolls.
Yeah, that is
Or
3 of 3.
Four.
If you
Four.
can't be good.
Okay, well, 3 priority rolls and the start.
Oh, if Steve had hair, it'd be moist. But
But he doesn't.
it doesn't.
Well, there's some hair on his face.
Yeah, and so that's really, really big. So Steve's got the turn and is taking the turn.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, why wouldn't you? So that
Actually-
endless spell, I mean, is
Actually,
now
is he
pointless with
going
here.
to take the turn?
Yeah, I'm guessing so because this has been moved. Yeah, he's taken the turn. He's now got 10 command points.
But those...
Oh, Rob's not sure.
Well, I just don't know what he's doing with it, really. Is he going to take these 9, move around, go here, and start to engage? Like, why not just eat these for another turn? Yeah. I mean, they can run and charge.
Yep.
Yeah. So they could potentially threaten the back, which is what he's worried about. But I think he's screened well enough.
Yeah.
And then they'd be out of the range.
And there's still 2 sets of summoning left, I think, right? So,
Yes. Actually, I'm not 100% sold on the output. Like, maybe if everyone can see something that I can't see, but I don't know. Is he giving the turn away? Is he taking the turn? Yeah, he's taking the turn, as you guys can see on the overlay.
Yeah.
Little arrow here lets you know who's got the turn. A really little small addition to the UI, but an amazing job. And I'd like to thank Tom, who's produced it for us, because he's an actual wonder and legend.
there you go.
So makes it...
And I guess as well it lights up a bit more, right? So that's a nice...
Yeah, again, real simple, real subtle, but real simple to see. Yeah, the lit up one is the active one. Morning Hook and Pin, morning everyone. There is 1 set of summoning left, also available.
Okay, so all the players now have a move of 18, thanks to some casting that was not unbound.
Yes, so yeah, that's from the deranged transformation.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
so I guess maybe that does say that he's gonna throw everything forward.
I think so as well. I think I'd be surprised if he hasn't actually. I don't know why he hasn't unbound Horrorghast, but he only has. So he's got 3 spells.
Yeah.
No, that's not true at all. He's got 4 spells. So he's got 4 casts. So he could have unbound Horrorghast and recast it. But no, 3 spells.
I guess maybe the choice was made elsewhere, and
There we go. So
that's some quick moving, fellas.
they are rapid AF is the correct term to describe them. So they are flying across the board, literally, with that fly keyword. And they're going to go scream their little hearts out. So this unit here is still pretty survivable.
Yep.
Steve's played against Daughters of Khaine several times. He has to be pretty confident that those are going to be able to commit and do that damage.
Yep.
I'm not certain that they are, which gives Peter... I mean, the Ghoul King Terrorgeist does this, right?
Yep.
Maybe does the whole unit, so kills that whole
Yep.
unit of Sister Slaughter. This unit comes in, gets hit by the by the flayers. I don't know. What do you guys think at home? Do you think the flayers do the damage? What do you think, James? How do you feel about it?
I have literally no idea. Okay, so he's spending a CP to teleport there. So
Yeah.
So
he's the Crypt Infernal Courtier is.
Yeah.
No, he's teleported the unit, hasn't he?
the Infernal Courtier has teleported here.
Right, perfect. Okay, so the Infernal Courtier's there. Ooh, this is real crunch time.
Yeah.
But both players, this is what a lot of people don't like this scenario because you're like, ugh, but you have to play. This is I have to go and win a game. It's
Yeah.
really tense. It's really frustrating sometimes, but you have to actually do things. And both players playing really, really solid Warhammer, and it's really exciting to see.
I think it's super exciting to see such tactics as well, right?
Yeah,
Like so much thought's gone into every move, so much thought's gone into every play, and it's nice to see that level of Warhammer on the stream, I think.
but the big question is are which souls going to go into Nagash's army?
Yeah.
Or are they going to murder some things that are already undead? That's the thing. In my experience, flayers don't do enough damage to chew through a defensive Sisters block, and I would agree with that.
I'd agree, but I'm not... Do we think they're there to chew through, or are they there to make sure that those don't come forward?
Well, so he has to... he also has to clear this out around the objective. So that also has to be a key element. And he's only got 9 bodies.
Yep.
That's the kind of the issue with Steve's army. There we go. We got some
There we
summoning.
go.
So another unit of knights there on the side. So just summoned over here if you guys are looking. Very, I don't know, TBH. I think it's all about the off. He's made the play. We're all committed. We're now just got to wait to find out what's going to happen.
There's still 10 Khaine, I guess. So I think a lot of measuring was done on the backboard in the hope that they are stopped or.
That's why it's such an interesting game, because both players have the options to commit later on and drop units down. Speckles, it is good to see something other than Ghoul Patrol.
So do we think so? Oh,
Yeah,
these are screaming. So do we think that maybe the hope is that he can take this altar out and weaken the whole army?
So the screams are targeting the sisters. The witch elves. We'll just get that from the tabletop.
So I guess, and we've blocked Morathi in here, so I guess there's a chance these are going to scream at Morathi too, right?
But Morathi's still got a turn of being alive.
Yeah.
And into the priority roll as well. She's only taken 6 wounds so far, so that means that she's got this turn to take another 3, and then as long as Peter doesn't have her in his turn 4 take another 3,
Yep.
then he's in a good spot realistically for the priority roll, because she'll either die or she'll be around for another turn. Just a really great piece, which is why I think he committed 1 turn too early with her.
Yeah.
Because had he just waited 1 more turn, because he didn't need to, in that scenario then. So the flayers are charged in that scenario. Then she's around all the way till turn 5. Oh, so the flayers have got a block. There's a little gap left here. Steve was measuring to see if he can get anything in. I don't think he can. So he's charging everything. There we go. So he's going to see if he can, with the Ghoul King on Terrorgeist, who's also going to make these guys pile in and attack twice.
Yep.
Which is going to be a really big deal.
Oh. And he's tagging Morathi.
Well, yeah. I mean, even just 1 flayer, if they can just ping off 2, I imagine also these 3 are going to go as well. He's just going to make everything pile and attack twice.
Yeah, there we go.
There we go. So you're going to have Ghoul King on Terrorgeist twice, 3 knights twice, 9 more twice. So it's basically what you've actually got is 18 flares attacking, 2 Ghoul Kings on Terrorgeist attacking, and another 6 attacking here. It's a tough time to be a semi-naked lady with a pair of knives.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's a tough time. Order of activation, I think, won't be overly important. I think the Ghoul King of Terrorgeist can wait to go. So I think it's going to be the 9 flares that go first.
There we go.
There you go. And he interestingly still has got 2 that aren't attacking.
Yeah, but I guess to keep Morathi tied up and make her worry about where her attacks are going is important too, right?
Yeah.
Because those 3 aren't going to last long.
It's also where they're going to attack back with. Who he's going to attack back with? Does he attack back with the Witch Elves, or does he try to take out the Ghoul King on Terrorgeist? Just depends on what damage we see actually going to these units at the minute.
And I guess there's the hope of dropping it at Tira. So monsters, I think there's always a hope. That
but the biggest issue with it is Ghoul King on Terrorgeist is the Maw, which always does its D6 damage. Always does its D6 mortal wounds in addition on the re-rollable bite that never gets worse. So that's where its raw output is from. So we'll see how it's going.
So
also, interestingly, Steve has to kill Morathi for one of his secondaries.
He does. So I guess there's got to be a commitment there too if he's going for all of those. I think especially being so high up the table.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay. So yeah, we're now just in this rolling combat that's going to take. So it's going to take a little bit of a while to see the results. But our table boss will let us know who's activating against which unit. That'll be really important.
Yes. So I think we're currently rolling against the purple witch elves. 2 wounds are done here. No wounds were done here. And we're currently rolling this here.
Oh, okay. So Morathi's only taken 2.
Yeah.
But she probably is going to take another 2 in the next activation.
Yeah, I mean, they're going to pile in attacking again. And there's these 3.
Yeah, so she's going to
one
lose
whole
her
wound.
3. Yeah, she's going to... yeah. Well, let us know if everyone who's watching. Let us know who you're rooting for. I'd be very interested to find out.
Yeah, so I think it's worth noting. So there was, I think, 2 damage here, 0 up here, and 6 dead witch elves. So not the altar, but it's too close for my big hands to draw. So that's what you get. So yeah, so we'll start. I guess we start to see a bit of that Daughters of Khaine army fall apart. But
I mean, yeah, a really big piece of it. If you look at this, there's one last unit back here snaked in. This unit of knights didn't get the charge off.
Yeah.
So there's going to be no more summoning. So everything that can threaten this objective, which is here, has arrived and is in the front.
Yeah.
There are still 2 units of heart renders, and if I just cycle up to the top so you guys can see, there's still a good volume of board presence at the back. There's these 20 ghouls, and there's still this 3 units of knights screening. So those heart renders are going to have a tough time, but it is all about these units and where they've committed to get into the fight. Speckles is all about the blue. He wants the fluffy FEC army to win.
I'm so surprised. I'm so surprised. I've never heard Speckles talk about Flesh Eater Courts.
So do you ever feel, James, that in this situation it's a bit of a Jurassic Park moment, that when you're up against death, life might find a way?
It might do.
Or will find a way. What do you think?
I think it'd be nice to see that happen.
Yeah.
But actually, I think at this point, I've not backed a winner yet. So maybe it's time to not back anyone, because I'm just giving them bad luck. I also think, I have to be honest, so I think kind of watching this, I like a Daughters of Khaine army. I think the Flesh Eater Courts fluff is some of the best in AOS at the minute.
Yeah.
And I also think this has probably been the best game I've watched all weekend so far.
It's been very, very entertaining, and also just, which is why some people are pretty critical of the scenario, but I actually think that it really does, like, it plays really well. Maybe it just plays really well on the screen, but it also plays very well in the posturing and the positioning and how armies play. Some armies have a really tough time with it because they don't build into their lists ways to go and grab objectives. But if you don't do that, then you haven't read the pack. And
yeah.
My number one piece of advice is read the pack. Yeah.
I think, for me, I just think it's such a tactical game. So I think earlier we spoke about Marathi bringing a different level of tactics. I think for me, Knife to the Heart especially brings a different tactic. So you make players think differently to other scenarios.
Absolutely, and there's a lot of just like full committal here. So with the activations, we've already had the 9 flayers activate.
And we've now got the Sisters of Slaughter going, I believe. So the saves are being made.
There we go. So the Sisters of Slaughter are activating now.
Yeah.
Okay, so Sisters of Slaughter are activating. Oh, okay. Good King Terragast taking some more
So he's taken
damage.
4 wounds overall? Overall or in that combat?
So we've got 4 wounds potentially done onto the Good King on Terragast. So yeah, only 4 on the Ghoul King on Terrorgeist after those Sisters of Slaughter. They're not going to get to attack again like the Ghoul King on Terrorgeist, who hasn't actually gone yet and is going to go twice.
Yep.
But these units are going to be able to pile an attack in the hero phase.
Yep.
So there's the potential that, I don't know, it's looking very good for Flesh Eater Courts currently.
Yeah.
The healing is also really good.
Here come the more dice.
No 6s reroll, no 6s again. We're
that's
super
a
happy
sad
about that.
That's a sad day if you're a giant bat.
And he's also rolled a 1 on the d6 damage.
I mean, I'd also just like to point out that it's Moore's the wrong way.
What?
It's Moore's the wrong way,
Yeah,
so
I mean,
that's what's going wrong.
It's really not. Look,
It's going again.
It's going again. No, this is the Ghoul King on Terrorgeist at this stage, actually on top.
So,
but while we're waiting for these combats to resolve, we do have more information from what's happened around the LGT tournament, because there are more people that could potentially win this game. So with some of that information and some of the hot goss from the environment, we've got Donald Taylor, the one-man superstar himself.
Hey guys, so table 1 update. We've got Darren against Philip, England versus Russia, Change Host versus Fire Slayers, Chaos versus Order. I'm running out of things to say, but that's pretty much it. It's super early in the game as well. It's quite tense and tight. Change host obviously taking a long time to play because it's change host, and who cares about that? The Fire Slayers are bunkering up. Very conservative play from the Fire Slayers, but it's probably the right decision. He's Darren's cast Pendulum, doing some damage on the pink so that he can summon some blues that are well painted, by the way. Definitely not Craig Namvar's blues. Blue. Speaking of Craig Namvar, I've got a photo to share which I will upload to Twitter very shortly. My phone's dead because Apple sucks. And Craig versus Colin, the Lord of Change of Craig, obviously not on the base. That is standard hashtag ETC behavior, but it's fine. So the Craig versus Colin. Colin won the double. He's pressing against Craig's change host. I think in a couple of turns we could see the Fire Slayers win that one. Obviously, at these sort of tables, when you're in the top 10, you want to be pushing for those major wins because there's no point in getting a minor because nobody remembers second place unless you came second place at Facehammer like myself, in which case I will always remember that because I'm awesome. Not going to cover the game going on behind me, but table 2, where it was Jack versus Slanesh, where Slanesh couldn't roll the dice to win anything. Jack obviously won that because Rattling Guns just did more damage than were necessary. 2 Rattling Guns killed 2 keepers. The Wind Launchers did nothing because they didn't need to do anything, because when Jack rolls hot, he rolls hot. Better be lucky than good, in the words of Laurie Huggett-Wibbick, who has also almost won his game because he's finally getting some of the dice that he's been after, beating Surfin, and I guess that's the joys of table 22. You can actually beat some of your opponents. Unless you're Adam Kunis on table 29, he needed to win the priority, kind of struggled with it, failed to win the priority. Then the Vermin Lord was summoned by the Screaming Bell. He's struggling. I'll share some updates there. And then we've got Mitzi. Mitzi with his beautiful Gitz army is charging into a Stormcast bunker. He's got 4 Dankol Troggoth trying to charge. No characters to back them up, so they're going to pop to battle shock if one of them dies. But he has he was just about to charge 10 Fanatics into that Stormcast bunker, so I'm quite excited to see how that plays out. On table 11 or 12, we've got the Ben off, the London off, where we've got the London Master versus the champion of the London Super League, Legions of Nagash versus 9 Stormfiends. We'll see how that goes. I'm hoping obviously Ben Sava wins this because I'm taking his army now to Facehammer, as long as I don't break it. Maybe, if I break it, it'll be too late. But anyway, we do have the Ben off, the London Master versus the London Super League champion. That's pretty exciting. Still quite tight there. Ben wants to win the priority to make it a comfortable win for himself. We've got Sylvaneth versus Deepkin on table 7. The Deepkin charged in 12 or 15 eels, like a bunch of eels, into Kerneth Hunters. 1 Kerneth Hunter with sword survived, which means that when the Sylvaneth player won the priority, he's able to heal some back. I think we're going to see the majority of those eels deleted. And it's going to be pretty much bish bash bosh for that army. I think if we see the Kerneth Hunters survive, then it's just a question of how long it takes them to get across the board. But obviously being able to bring some Kerneth Hunters back means that they win the war of attrition against the eels, who are pretty much out by themselves without any support. That's all we have as updates so far. Definitely not missing anything. Oh, Luvo, who charged in the Screen of Clan Rats. It turned out that worked, which means maybe he'd had the right strategy against Jack. He didn't. But in this case, it was right. He looks quite comfortable. Looks like he's going to be able to claim the Skaven bunker over a couple of turns. Evocators did their job, killed a bunch of Clan Rats, and there's not much that can really eat them now. Definitely not any Plague Monks going to attack. Anyway, Luvo seems like he's doing well. He's now feeling vindicated. He shouldn't, but he feels vindicated, and that's what matters. I'm going to hand back to Rob and James, and they're going to keep you updated on the Steve versus Peter game.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back. to battle round 4 of game 4
Yeah.
of a very tense game of Knife to the Heart. If you've just joined us, the first 2 turns was a lot of posturing from the armies with a deep Marathi charge. She's been there since turn 2.
Yeah.
Stood there. All the priority rolls currently won by Steve, going into the pivotal turn 5 priority roll. But Steve has just about finished up his turn, and we have seen this Sister Slaughter unit reduced down to 4 models, with the Gorgon Terror guys only having taken 4 models. The Witch Elves, all the activations have happened for the Flesh Eater Courts army now, and it's only this unit of Witch Elves to go. But turn 4, Peter still's got his turn. Marathi's still alive. She's only got 3 wounds left.
Yep.
But she has traded for 2 of these knights here. So with a good shooting phase, potentially, she's threatening that back objective. There are still 2 units of Heart Renders in the sky.
Yep.
Which I think is really interesting. So they could land here and here.
Yep.
There's obviously those 3 blocking, creating this zone. And there's 20 ghouls in the way. But Marathi plus them potentially is the game.
Yep.
Could be. And these Witch Elves can still push out and potentially threaten this block of 9, who I don't imagine will be 9 flayers by the end of this combat from the Witch Elves.
There's got to be no chance, right? Those Witch Elves have got to turn out enough damage.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think they'll all be there. So this priority roll into this turn is going to be super pivotal.
Yeah.
Super pivotal. So I'm very excited to see what actually is going to happen.
Yeah, and a load of save rolls coming in. So I'm guessing we're going to see some flayers disappear in a minute from there.
Yes. Yeah, I think definitely we're going to see some flayers disappear realistically.
Here we go.
How many though? 3. Okay. So there is only now
Two have
1,
gone.
2, 3, 4, 5. So 4 have died. 4 have died.
But they took a good beating. I mean, a few Sisters of Slaughter that were there hit them. Marathi, I think, maybe would have got a punt at them, and these Witch Elves here. So
yeah, it's going to be really important for the. This unit is immune to battle shock here at the top.
Yep.
So that's important to note. So they're still locked in there. You can see their Witch Brew tokens.
And I think Battle Shock's about to happen.
Okay, not battle shock's about to happen, but also the priority roll. Oh,
Yeah.
I got a bit keen there with the priority dice roll. Cam, apologies about that, but when it does come up, it's going to be very, very pivotal. Because both players are going to want it. But I actually think Peter can win the game if he gets the priority roll. He's taken so much. Steve is just literally full of CP. He's got almost too much in that scenario. Oh no, actually, what? It's not even the priority roll.
No, we're nowhere
What the hell am I
close.
doing?
I don't know. You're
I'm
so excited.
sorry, everyone. I am very, very excited. It's not even.
I'll
the
check
priority
his
roll.
heart.
Yeah, it's fine.
It's okay. We're
It's
okay.
not. It's actually going to just be Peter's turn. Steve's just had his turn for turn 4. Peter's going to have his turn for turn 4. I just jumped ahead a whole turn. I actually
Wow.
think this is looking really, really good for Peter. I think it's looking really good for Peter.
Yeah, and so now, so it's interesting to see. So all these buffs are going to happen back here now. So he's almost cattling that unit, and it's just going to rip through what's left of those 9, right?
It is, absolutely.
There's going to be not any left.
I'm sure that they can pile in during the hero phase. I'll just double check that, but I'm pretty certain they're able to pile in the hero phase. So you've got the hero phase and the combat phase to do that.
Yeah, I'm not even sure. Fully buffed, will they need 2 rounds of combat?
No, but yeah, but you take it, right? Because you're gonna if you can go through them.
Oh, you take it, because if you go through them, they're going forward.
They're going forward and blocking, but you're going to look at the heart renders come down, and also looking where Marathi can go.
Yeah.
I don't think she's going to fall out of combat, but I think she might shoot and try and do damage in here.
Yeah, because I mean, there's 20 models there, but they're going to die fast.
They are, they're ghouls.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, they think they're humans with spears, but they're ghouls.
I mean, they're probably better than the humans with spears.
Yeah, probably.
But they're still not good.
Twitch chat, please let me know. If you're watching on Facebook, you can jump over to Twitch. We can see what you guys are saying. I really want to know who you guys think are going to win it, or who you're rooting for and why.
Yep. Here comes the hero face piling.
Here we go. So that's happening. I reckon, and they're buffed up now.
Yeah.
Oh, baby.
So I guess at this point, these are almost unbuffable because they're so far forward.
Yes.
Don't
know.
That unit there. But so I'm guessing all the buffs are coming from Yeah, so they've got Witch Brew, Mind Razor, and Blessing. So it's going to hurt, right?
Yeah, absolutely. It's going to do a good amount of. It's going to do a good amount of damage, and really hurt them, I think. Yeah, I mean that was a terrible sentence. I'm very, very sorry.
It's okay. We've been here hours.
Yeah. Blazebeard says maybe Marathi has to charge in there. I feel very torn about who I want to win this one, says Tom. In X, the Kitsune says, I'll root for Nagash. I love vampires, but I'm sad that they got rid of the bloodline. So they're still in there in the Soulblight army. If you guys check that out. Sweet. Can Steve still summon? Steve has used all of his summoning. His last unit of summoning was actually over here and gone in there, so there's no summons left from Steve. I'm pretty certain. I'll double check that.
Yeah, all the summoning has gone. So it's interesting, right? So he's lost that piece of board control.
And if you just joined us, by the way, I want to hear what you got to say. Sorry, but I just want everyone to check out how gorgeous.
Well, now you've distracted me.
Just look at the mighty, mighty powerhouse.
Do you know what worries me even more?
Yeah.
Like every time we zoom in on this, I look at the wheels on that altar and think those wheels look better than some of the entire armies we've seen this weekend.
Yes.
And that's and do you know what? In some ways, that's not even me being mean, because actually, like, I mean, just look at it.
It's so pretty. Can we all just take a moment to appreciate just how gorgeous it is? Can 10 Heartrenders kill all those ghouls? 10 Heartrenders could do some work, but they're not trying to kill all the ghouls, just enough.
So controversially,
yeah,
I hate Heartrenders. I think they're rubbish.
You think they're rubbish in the game, or you think they're rubbish
at combat? So combat, shooting, they're just average. All you're paying for, in my opinion, is that ability to deep strike basically wherever you want and maybe move.
It's game winning.
Yeah,
game winning. But
to kill the ghouls, nowhere close. But what we're guessing on is this Marathi shooting this and doing all the hard work. The Heartrenders will just pick up the pieces.
Okay, yeah, good point. Got to also say, if you saw those knights have gone down again.
There's a whole one.
There's a whole one left. So if you just go and check this out right there. No, there's two. There's two left. Marathi is... she's in combat still. So can you...
I think... So that Marathi was in combat?
Yeah, Marathi was in combat.
But maybe was not... There we go. I think maybe there was a discussion about whether she was equidistant away from the two, because the two that were most closely piled in.
Right, so whether or not
died.
she can move two pile in.
Yeah.
So she might only be able to use her spear attack, which is quite clever. So it's kind of like move blocking, really, because you're equidistant from the two. She can't move any closer to either one, because then she's fallen out. So then she can attack.
Oh. So one's gone. I'm guessing that the spear, I think, is range 3. So she's in combat with both of them. It's in range.
So there we go. So she's still locked in combat. So even though she killed that one there, she's still locked in combat here, which is pretty tough.
So I think, having measured it, and that's literally just come into my ear, that actually this might have been out of 3. So I'm guessing she won't be locked in combat there.
Wow. Okay. She's just over 3 inches.
Okay, so apparently, that is within 3. So she's locked into combat, but the spear must be 2-inch range, I imagine.
Yeah.
So that's my mistake. I was thinking she had bigger arms.
Yeah, and Blaze Be Mad has got a really good point, actually. Retreat those Sisters of Slaughter, potentially get some more models within 3. We're going to see the Heartrenders come down at some point. We're going to see the measuring there.
There's lots of measuring.
There's lots of measuring. And Peter is set up on a big play here, which is why, by the way, I didn't think Steve needed to take the turn before. We talked about Steve taking the turn.
Yes, we did.
At the top of this, because he just would have got this free combat and chew in. He didn't need it, and then, I don't know. I personally didn't.
He'd have got charged, I guess. So the difference was he'd have got charged, but then he
not really, because he put that unit there from here.
Yeah.
He didn't need to. Does that make sense? Like, he didn't need to put them there.
No.
So had he given the turn, I think. And obviously, whenever I do the commentary, I don't think I know more than the players. I'm talking about potential other options, right?
Oh, so here it comes.
What's happening?
The Sisters of Slaughter are retreating.
Oh, good
because
call,
they can
Blaze.
also retreat and charge, I believe.
Yeah.
So
This is DOK double turn. No, this is DOK just
So-
on the bottom of turn
so the
4.
Archregent is there.
Okay,
So I guess that's their target, maybe.
potentially.
I mean, I almost feel like it would make more sense to hit the unit, but maybe the hope is that he's closer and that's their full retreat.
I think you're going to see the Witch Elves go over here and go for the big punch and go for the big win.
I guess the biggest discussion is, do we think that, I think there's 3 knights around here, right?
Yeah.
Do we think they can chew through 10 Witch Elves?
No. I don't. What these?
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. There's a lot to play here. You need to screen in case you lose. Personally, I don't know. Potentially just go for the win. Like it's a lot. Maybe that's me being lazy. Do you know what? That's me being lazy. The right play is to work out how to make sure you screen this unit here so it can't get within 6. That's the right play. Don't charge over and just go for the murder. Yeah. Just use this block, screen well.
Yep.
Yeah, make sure that even if they get a 12, they're not jumping over into the back line. There's a thing to do there. Maybe even push the hag in. Yeah, and just have the hag be something that controls.
They can't afford to charge this anyway because the movement on those in this this allegiance is just huge, right? So even if they retreated, there's a chance they could retreat over the top and take an objective.
Blisterkin's going to give him +2 moves, so he's fast. He's absolutely fast. So you want to screen out as much as possible, and they fly, so you can jump a screen.
There we go. So we can see some movement there.
Yeah, Steve has had his turn 4. If you, we'll get John to update the overlay, so it's got a dash, so you guys can make sure you pay attention to that.
So it's a weird one, I think, especially if you're new to the game, to try and work out the scoring system where we have so much scoring going on in normal games, and in this one, no score will be done until the last till the end. It's win or lose, with a minor victory, as we've liked to say all day today. If you're a coward, you get a minor. Unfortunately, now maybe I regret our comments because actually, if either of these 2 players get a minor victory, I feel they've played the game.
I think they've super played
so
for it.
Well.
They've absolutely played for it, and it's such a great looking tabletop. Steve's army's lovely. Peter's army's fantastic. That Marathi is still there. And some really, really interesting play from both Steve and Peter. Steve trying to deal with it. Trying to deal with it as little as possible.
So I think this is going to be the point where we see these Khanari deploy.
Okay, so
because now's the time, right?
Yeah, so 2 units of 5, arguably the best buy you can get in Daughters of Khaine. Daughters of Khaine have got some offensive output and defense, but do I think that they'd have such a high win rate if they didn't have the Heart Renders in their army? Do not think so.
I think rubbish at fighting, amazing at board control, mobility, objective stealing. I mean, that's basically what they are, right?
Yeah, they're game winning.
Yeah.
They're game winning, which is why the Sylvaneth book is in a really interesting place at the minute, but it's got a not great place in our opinion, but that's not necessarily, we'll see if that pans out over the next few months. Because of its ability to deep strike. It's why Slesh does really well as well. That late game summoning to put bodies on the board is just really strong. You see that Beast of Chaos armies as well.
Yep.
It just does some really solid work. Even Nurgle armies.
I think that summoning mechanic is basically a constant threat, isn't it? So those 10 Canary that have been off this board the whole game have been a threat the whole game. They didn't even have to be on the table. They didn't have to be playing. They didn't have to be doing anything. And until this point, he's had to worry about them. So he's used that 20 model summon, which was his biggest pile of bodies, to hold that point
to screen at the
for
back
quite a long time.
I think he should have kept. I think he should have kept him. I think he should have kept him a turn personally.
Yeah, maybe. And it's interesting to see that deployment onto an endless spell.
Yeah, right next to the endless spell.
Right next to that endless spell that I guess won't affect them once they've charged.
No, and I think at this, no, because they're going to be able to fly over them. So
the debuff from this spell is not going to affect them once they've charged in if they only make it to here.
Yeah. I think this is. I mean, if the priority roll happens,
then I guess the priority roll is going to be super important, right? So it's almost game winning, I think, at this point, unless all this combat and charges go exceptionally well, then the game could come down to the next priority role.
Absolutely. I mean, it can come. I think Steve's going to be in a hard place to actually win it because he's got no bodies to put on that back objective. And I think what Steve will actually end up doing is go for the miner because it's a smart play at this stage. I think Pete is currently up on points, but the loss of Marathi.
Yep.
So if he can basically just take these flares, move, scream, just clear this with the Ghoul King on Terrorgeist. The loss of Marathi, I think, gets the miner for Steve. Also, his secondary is killing Marathi at this stage.
Yes, so it's important, right?
Yeah, and he has actually played for the win, so I don't mind him walking away with the miner at that stage.
Yeah, and it's been intense. We saw a lot of feather fluttering and peacocking at the beginning, and now we've seen some serious kind of tactical plays, some serious combat.
It's a great game of Warhammer. It's a great game of Warhammer, and I'm very excited to see how it concludes. Are you guys, everyone in there? 90 points. Yeah, everyone's talking about just the threat of the Heart Renders.
If anyone's ever rolled well on their combat, though, because I have never, that'd be great. I'd borrow your dice.
The 5 Heart Renders have landed here, 5 have landed here. So they're just looking to just hit that.
Yeah, I'm hoping. I guess in some ways, what they're doing is hoping to just put those bodies on, and that these will do some good damage because those Sisters of Slaughter have churned out some good damage.
Yeah, have them activating first is really sensible as well. It really is, and that's another 4 bodies. So you're looking at 14 bodies on the objective, and the ghouls. There's only a body of 20.
Yep.
And there's also the Ghoul King. By the way, not the Arc Regent. The Arc Regent though is a gangster. Over at Nashcon, we saw an Arc Regent sat on his charnel throne, and we saw Sileski, Silan Eski, from
no one can pronounce
Snesh.
it.
Yeah, I know. From Snesh charge, and the Arc Regent just like punked Sileski back in combat, took the damage and just fought back. So Art Regent is no slouch, sat on 7 wounds. Really, really solid.
So I think here we're going to see the Canaries shooting at the ghouls.
Okay, yeah, so just trying to whittle them down, not even bothered, because they're going to be able to move afterwards and
If
then
they
do the
roll a
charge.
4-up.
If they roll a 4-up, which is going to be so pivotal, that 4-up at this stage.
So 5 ghouls have died just to the shooting.
Oh, that's all they need. Oh my god. It's coming down to teeny tiny ghouls. Steve has got to be like clenched so firmly. And Peter's also got the priority roll coming up. So if some of these, so he's got the 4-up.
There's the 4-up.
The 4-up, the unit of Heart Renders has moved.
So if they've both shot, I'm guessing the other ones didn't get the 4-up. Or he hasn't moved them yet.
Also, the unit of Witch Elves, by the way, not moved off the objective.
Nope.
The other unit of Witch Elves, just been like, nope, they've just formed a closed formation. So it doesn't matter how far this where it moves here, it's not going to be able to drop in here.
Nope.
And outnumber.
So this is going to be big now. So these have failed their 4-up. These have made their 4-up. So there's 7 inches here.
9 inches here. There. Yeah, so those are some big charges. Marathi, interestingly, is locked in, so she's going to deal with this final crit flare there. With this final crit flare dead, Marathi goes into the turn with 3 wounds on.
Yeah.
So if Peter gets the turn, Marathi can also come and threaten here, which means the Ghoul King on Terrorgeist just hasn't gone in. Maybe I was wrong. Maybe the way Peter committed is the way that the Ghoul King on Terrorgeist could have committed.
Yeah.
I don't know. But to be honest, I think the Ghoul King on Terrorgeist has done a solid job.
So here comes a little update that they made it by an inch.
Oh, the Heart Renders are in. Oh, we could see the game. This is huge. Steve, I'm really sorry, but I think Steve has played a solid game. The only maybe mistake would be taking the turn for this priority, which can sometimes seem like such a huge bonus, like you really, really want to go and do. I don't know.
Do you know what? I think if we scroll all the way back as well, that Marathi play that we were unsure about has built a solid movement system for the rest of the game.
Yeah, it really has. Steve's been playing around Marathi.
Yeah.
And I think he was right to do the shooting, but it was unfortunate he had to go and do the combat. There we go. We're looking at Look at this guy. Look at this. He is that Arc Regent right in the center is no slouch. He's going to wreck face if he gets the opportunity. Oh yeah, there's also the Knights, but the Knights
are not going to be within that.
They're not going to be within range. No. Oh, they might be within. I don't think they're within range of the 6, but what they are in range of is to countercharge if they don't take it this turn. But having lost already 4 ghouls.
5, I think it was.
5 ghouls. So these. What's really interesting is these have to go and deal. I don't think he's actually going to take it this turn.
Here come these Sisters of Slaughter with a 7-inch charge.
Right. Okay. So what he's going to do is just aim everything at the ghouls.
Okay, so he's trying to get out of that Arc Regent.
Yeah.
Because we know that he's a gangster.
Yes. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
And I guess he does too. Don't fight him.
Yeah.
And I guess not many of those ghouls are going to fight back, right? So. So if we go back to the table, I believe the big unit of Witch Elves are charging.
Okay.
I'm not sure what they're charging towards. Oh. So what have they rolled?
We'll find out what the roll for the charge was. I don't know what he's going to try and a 10.
So they've rolled a 10.
Interesting. I don't. To be honest, look, Steve's got no threats like in big bodies.
Yep.
The only thing that can possibly happen is this Ghoul King on Terrorgeist goes in and eats everything.
Yep.
And then these 3 outscore. That's the only actual issue there. So I think what Peter's going to do is going to consolidate and reduce the number of bodies that could potentially come back and hit him.
Yeah. So he's tagging both the Courtier and the Flare there. Look. So
yeah. To do the damage. That makes quite a bit of sense because you want to reduce the number of scoring units at this stage. Pete's played a great game. Really enjoyed watching him play.
Do we know what his secondary objective was?
We can find out from the tabletop what his secondaries were in a moment. That would be really fun to do.
Because I think maybe that might be influence some of these plays as well. Okay, so his objectives were to keep a hero with an artifact alive. So I'm guessing he's probably got that one at this point. And to have a unit over 3 models within his enemy's deployment at the end.
Which those Heart Renders are currently doing.
Well, yeah, you can't major the game without that, right?
No.
So
good choice in that scenario.
Oh, okay. So it was just across the line. So within the enemy territory.
Okay.
So, but I mean, yeah.
Looks like he's going to achieve those.
You're playing the full major win at that point,
This
right?
could be a 20-0 for Peter, which is going to be really interesting going in. Oh my God, it's really exciting. Obviously activations are going to be. I don't think they're anything other than the Sisters of Slaughter are going to activate. That's going to be the first choice.
The Heart Renders are going first.
Okay, I suppose get their output done.
Yep.
Yeah. And
they're interesting though because they're an odd target, right? Because on a 6 they're going to wound him. They're going to throw mortal wounds back, right? On their shields.
Yeah. So keeping them all, get them to do their output, then get them to do their output if the ghouls attack them.
Yep.
Then he's got a choice with the ghouls. Does he go after the 4 sisters or does he go after the Heart Renders? We're going to come back to this very tense game in a moment. We have a quick update from Donal. Yeah, as we find out what's happening around the rest of the LGT tournament.
Okay, so table 1, we have Darren versus the Fire Slayers. Darren managed to kill the Nullification Banner hero, so now it's the question of can he get rid of the other heroes and then start deleting Fire Slayers. I think Darren's now going to be playing for the Major. It's quite a tense game. A couple of priorities are going to make a difference. Table 1, we obviously had Jack win. For anyone who hasn't been following, he rolled like a boss and the Slanesh player did not. Hashtag JackLuck, that is the new hashtag. Table 4, the Eels versus the Sylvaneth. The Eels all died basically, but the Deepkin player won a double. Sylvaneth player didn't screen properly, and it's very, very tense where because of that double, it looks like the Sylvaneth player the Deepkin player may be able to win by outscoring the Sylvaneth on their home objective. If he fails, I think it's guaranteed that the Sylvaneth player is going to win. So it's definitely a game where the scenario has lost it for this for the Sylvaneth player potentially. Leo on table 5, he lost with the Iron Jaws. He played aggressively, which isn't how Leo usually plays. Tried to kill all the summonable heroes, failed that. failed to kill them all. And a keeper retreated, summoned some demonettes, and won the objective. Change host versus Zinch. Colin lost the priority, so the change host is doubling him back. It looks very, very tense there. Then we've seen some other things. The guy yesterday who plays Archeon, who did a triple Slayer of Kings on 3 Terrorgeists, is playing Feck again. Unfortunately, he looks like he's going to lose. And then a couple of other quick updates. Mitzi failed a 6-inch charge with the Fanatics. Laurie actually, so Mitzi's now in trouble. Laurie won his game, so now he's happy, which is nice. And I'm going to hand back to Rob and James, who are going to come back to their very tense game.
Thank you so much, Donal. Appreciate that. Right, straight back to this combat for a knife to the heart. So, Daughters of Khaine, it's their turn, priority roll coming up. But this ongoing combat, as you can see, the ghouls have just struck back. We've lost 3 of these Sisters of Slaughter, and we lost one Heartrender. So currently the ghouls still outnumber. There's a battle shock, but I think it's going to be fine because he's sat on CP right next to a character, so there isn't going to be an issue.
So that was 2 rounds of combat from those ghouls as well.
2 rounds of combat from the ghoul because of the CP, and he just suspended it, so that's great. So it's going to be super tense when we go, I think, into the priority phase.
I think so. So we've just had an update that there might have been something with the saves. An issue might happen with the saves, so there might be a chance. Oh, one more dies.
One more heart. No. Oh, so this is the second round of combat. Second round of combat. And there you go. All of those heart renders are dead.
And that's why I don't rate heart renders in combat.
Yeah, well, I mean, but they're there to score, right? And
but these imaginary peasants with spears just killed them. I mean, you're angry. You've been queuing. You've got a spear and you've got wings, and a guy just poked you out of the sky with a bone.
So close. Peter just went in, was very, very close. So now that priority is going to make a big difference. But because Steve is now playing to not get majored at this stage, which is a huge swing from where we thought earlier, when we did see an absolutely massive turn in turn 4. In turn 3, going into turn 4, that's when we saw all the commitment from Steve, with a unit of 9 flayers, Ghoul King or Terror guys, all committing in. He then won the priority going into turn 4, so he got the double, committed, did more, and attacked these Witch Elves. Those Witch Elves just showing that they just don't care. They're still alive. They took 2 lots of 9 flayers, so basically 18 flayers fighting into them before they hit. And they're just like, cool, no problem.
Not bothered.
Not problem.
We're queuing.
That's not actually fair. That's not fair. It wasn't the whole 9. It was 6 of them. So it was really only 12. Only 6 actually got to strike.
It's a lot that didn't chew through much, though.
It is a lot. Yeah, you're right. It's a lot of dice rolls for not a lot of effect. That's real.
So I think those Witch Elves are hitting back now. So I imagine we're going to see both of these models gone. Yeah,
so that's the final of those 9 flayers finally gone. So those kill points are in the bag for Peter. So he's probably got the miner anyway. It's whether or not we're going to see the Infernal Crypt Core, the Crypt Infernal Courtier, I'll get that the right way around, die. I think we probably will as well. But buffed up Witch Elves generally tend to do some good damage.
They tend to use their knives to chew through anything.
A really interesting little thing actually is if I get the shot, you'll see how much people love watching games of Warhammer. It's just really, really cute. So if you look here, I'll show you. There's just a whole wall of people watching this game happen. Just like you guys at home, so it's just as interesting to the people live. There's Donal watching live. He's super excited.
Even Laurie's come.
Yeah, even Laurie's come. There's Colonel Cabbage. There's Bilal. There's Laurie. Everyone just really interested. A lot of people rooting for Steve. Steve's a very popular guy, really nice fella. And the Bucks Wargaming Collective, a great group of dudes.
And there's a lot of them here, I think.
Yeah, they are. Yeah, there's a bunch of them here. They're great guys, and I'm really looking forward to the Honest Wargamer doing the live coverage at the Bloodshed in the Shire, which is going to be run by those guys. And I think we might be doing their team tournament next year as well.
Nice.
Yeah.
So while we were gone, dead.
All dead. Yeah.
So I'm guessing at this point Steve's got to somehow try and protect his losses.
Yeah. So what Steve needs to do is. Okay, so we're gonna.
Okay, cool. So the CP's been spent down there to pass the battle shock.
Here we go.
And I think a Witch Elf just went to battle shock. A Sister of Slaughter, sorry.
Yeah. So it's the priority roll. It's the priority roll. It's so tense.
And
So-
Steve's won every one.
Yeah, Steve's won every priority roll at this stage. Here we go.
Can he win one
so
more?
Can he win one more priority roll? Make it 4 out of 4. He's got every one.
Steve's
Peter's
blue.
coming with a 2. Oh, that's a good one. Oh,
The
don't roll
pressure's
a 1.
on.
And don't roll a 2. Don't roll
Don't
a
roll a
1.
one.
Don't roll a 1. Oh my God! Oh my God!
And he's
Peter doesn't even look. Yeah, Peter looks happy.
That's
Yeah.
a happy man.
You hate to see it happen, but there we go. Peter gets a choice. I wonder what he'll do.
Is he gonna give the turn away?
Oh wow, that is huge. That's huge.
We're waiting for a report from the table. Is Steve crying?
Yeah, is Steve he's still smiling though. He's such a nice bloke. Like he's still just having a good time. So that's Peter's turn has been finished, and he has won the priority, and I think he's taking the turn.
I don't think we need an update, do we? I don't think he's not going to take the turn.
Although it's still not necessarily over. The Heartrenders have to come
Yeah.
over, and he does have to deal with the Ghouls
Yeah.
and the Arc Regent. It's not a foregone conclusion
No.
he's going to. I've seen Marathi whiff. She could fail a 3-inch
Yeah.
charge. It's not a guaranteed charge. There are still things that can change the shape of the game.
He So at this point, he's taken the turn.
Yeah, he's taking it.
He's taken it.
Taking it. Yeah, are you going to take it?
Newsflash.
A massive. Really, really close. And he might as well try and get all of the VPs. He might as well push those Witch Elves off the
Yep.
objective, buff them up, and try and take the Ghoul King and Terrorgeist as well. Just go for the pure crush. Oh, roll it a 1. Roll it. And by the way, that's the only dice he could have failed on, because Peter had his turn. Had he rolled a 2,
Yep.
it would have still been Steve's.
All the rolls in all the world.
All the rolls in. He's been rolling dice all day. He just needed 1 to go his way.
Oh, they forgot the end of spell, so it's just been moved.
Okay, that's good.
Oh, look at that.
There you go. Moving into play. Listen, it's by no means it's close to over, but it's not actually over.
I do think, we forget sometimes, I think, that Math Hammer's nice on paper, but it's still a dice game.
It absolutely is a dice game. That's why we play.
And
It's the drama.
Like that one.
That one.
Just rolled by Steve. Maybe we should just keep repeating that, and when he watches this back, he can cry more and more.
That one.
And that's how I got my ticket taken off me for bloodshed in the Shire.
Hawkeye. Marathi still has to clear most of the things off. There are the 5 Heartrenders as well. So just Marathi plus the Heartrenders has to go in. It's going to be a bit of an issue, like making sure that, you've got to also make sure that Arc region doesn't get in.
Yeah, because there's only one, I think, Sister Assorta left in there now.
Yes.
So I guess that's big. But the shooting here could make a difference too. They took, I think between 2 of them, they took off 5 last round. So
Yeah. I mean, just tense as all hell, but an incredible game to cover. And I want to thank you both, Peter. I want to thank both Steve and Peter for just an excellent game on the tabletop.
Yeah.
A real salve after our game 3 yesterday.
That game that went on hours. That game. I mean, there was some great cannonball activity at the back.
There was.
A gun jammed because the
Gun
cannonball was too
jammed,
big.
That's true. So we will wait to see. I think the plays are fairly obvious at this stage.
Yeah.
But it's still going to be exciting to see if they actually work out.
So it's interesting to see that the giant pile of Witch Elves has all the buffs now. So I'm guessing they're just going to go for that Terrorgeist.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah,
And
just gonna.
Marathi's moving. So I guess her moves a lot less.
There you go. So there's Marathi.
Three wounds left. So
Yeah, and to be honest, I said that I thought Peter committed it too early.
it's time to take it back.
Yeah, definitely. But I did actually say that she was going to be that key piece that Steve had to deal with, and he did try. I thought that early play for doing the shooting was huge. It just didn't pan out his way, which I think he's got to be a little bit upset by, realistically.
So I think so. The Witch Elves are going for a run.
Oh yeah, but they can run and charge.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they're going to go. They're still going to go after that. Look at this gangster though, guarding. And also, good play by Steve, by the way, moving this
Yeah.
to cause as much blockage as possible. Still, even in the dire moments, being like, do you know what, I'm going to try and cause you. Because even if that's a 4-inch charge, John, what's the difference on the charge for Marathi? Because she has to go and clear that. Oh, wait, so he's committing.
Yeah.
He's even bringing, so it's a re-roll. So he's...
Forget killing the general.
Yeah, Peter sat on 2 CP. So he's got a re-rollable charge on the Witch Elves and a re-rollable charge on Marathi. Lots to play for there.
So there's about a 5-inch charge, I think, maybe on that if a ghoul dies.
Okay, and that's not. It's statistically likely.
Yep.
It's probable, but not impossible that. Yeah.
So a CP was used to make that run as 6. So
Yeah.
does that?
Does that
so
mean
he's
there's
now
only
on
2 CP
2.
left, or
Yeah.
there's still 2? The overlay guy is smashing at this point. John doing great jobs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I guess he'd have gone up to 3 for the turn.
Yeah.
Back down to 2. So.
Yeah. Steve still sat there on his 4 CP.
Yeah.
Just greedily summoning them.
He's stacking CP to do nothing, maybe, at this point.
Yeah. So a 5-inch rollable charge to win the game. I mean, there's still those two Sister of Slaughter.
I think there might be. Is there 1 Sister of Slaughter left or 2?
Just the one.
Just
one Sister
one.
of Slaughter left. Who, by the way, has taken like 4 rounds of that unit. Just her. She's seen 29 of her Brethren
Yes.
die to 4 rounds of Ghoul King on Terror, guys.
Do you want to know the bonus?
Yeah, go for it.
She's at the front of the queue.
She's the last one. She has been waiting. She's at the front of the queue.
Her checkout's about to be complete. Her beige lunch is almost in her hand.
So Godchild, it becomes an automatic win if you hold both objectives, which means the game ends.
Yeah.
It just autos over.
Which also at this point would stop Steve scoring his hidden agenda.
It would stop because killing Marathi is also his hidden agenda. It's all down to this. So there is some more, like, obviously other movements as well. He has to make sure he's got holding his own objective, but that's not really important. I mean, he could be. It could go horribly wrong.
Yeah.
And then this somehow happens. So the unit of 3 knights
They're
comes over.
never chewing those units off there, though.
No. Again.
No.
Dice. I don't know.
There's a lot of 6s I needed.
Do you know what I think also is a little bit has been a swing? Was this combat from this Ghoul King on Terror, guys?
Yep.
We saw him use his more attack twice and get no 6s.
Yep.
So the which does D6 mortal wounds in addition, and that go through that unit of Sister Slaughter, which meant that those 4 could come around here and do some damage into the ghouls.
Yep.
So that was pretty big.
We're watching some ghouls die. Marathi's glaring them out. 1 has died.
Okay.
The rest were fine with it.
So I imagine that maybe he extended the charge a little bit there.
Yeah, it's going to have to, right?
Yeah.
So as they start to die, the charges are getting extended. So I'd almost feel like it might not be worth making these shots.
But I don't know, because if you can whittle them down just from the shooting from the heart renders, because these ghouls are within 6.
Yep.
Not ghouls, sorry, the heart renders are within 6. He just has to kill enough that the heart renders are going to score the objective.
So all of these 5 heart renders have just shot that Archregent, who's alive. He's taken 3.
So he's still got 4. Interestingly, heals 3 a turn, an Archregent. Just flat 3 a turn. Every
That's
hero
interesting.
phase.
So most people heal D3.
Yeah, he just heals a flat 3.
And why would that be?
Available only in the Carrion Empire box set.
Oh, Marathi's made an 8.
She's made an 8.
She's kicking Nagash's face as she charges.
Okay, she can still fail all of her attacks.
Okay, so she's apparently, narratively, here we go. Marathi's that angry, she's decided to sit on the Cardinal Throne.
The Witch Elves, did they make the charge? The Witch Elves rolled. The Witch Elves are in. He doesn't even need to strike. He just needs to get enough bodies on the board. Steve's played a fantastic game.
Yeah, but this is it.
Yeah, that's just absolutely stunning.
Can what's left? 6 ghouls survive Marathi and the queue of Witch Elves.
And the Witch Elves,
the
queue of
for
Witch
5
Elves.
turns.
They've just been ready. They've gone through everything. They took like took 12 flares to the face. It just shows you, like, hopefully if you guys have been watching, it just shows you how resilient the Daughters of Khaine are.
Yeah.
It's just mind-boggling, the output that you can put into them, and they're still just there. There you go. There's the handshake. What a fantastic game. Well done, gentlemen. That's amazing. We might be able to get Donal to do an interview with them.
Would we like to interview them?
Yeah, Donal. We'll get the interview. Let them get their scores in. Yeah, find him. So an amazing game there, but from Peter and Steve. Really loved watching Steve play. Really loved watching Peter play. Like, what an absolute pair of legends. That was just a fantastic game, realistically. Yeah, just brilliant. What did you think? Like, hello everyone, welcome back.
I'm at a loss now. Like, that was intense. I feel a bit lost without that game.
I loved that game. That game was so much fun. Like, and played really, really well. Like, just hard Warhammer.
Yeah.
But really good.
And so many parts. I mean, that Marathi, we thought Marathi came forward too early. Do you know what? She survived the game.
I mean, that's just, she was out there. If you go back and watch, if you've just joined us, she just, turn 2, she just goes in front of the whole army. She's like, hello,
my name's Marathi, and
I'm the High Oracle. Yeah.
Oh no, but at that point she's not even High Oracle anymore.
No, she's not. She's the Slaughter Queen.
Yeah.
She got angry and mad.
And didn't queue.
She didn't queue for the battle.
If you've just joined, you're going to have to watch, because that's my ongoing joke for this round.
Papa Peen, if you'd like a rundown of the game, yeah, I could do that. That shouldn't be a problem for you at all. So we'll go to the tabletop. So what happened was, Steve got the first turn. He rolled, because they both were 4 drops. They both got the roll off. Steve won it, sat himself by this commanded terrain, and then positioned himself kind of like defensively. And then Peter did exactly the same thing. Gave Peter the turn, and all Peter did was just posture a little bit and sit, and Steve did a similar thing in his turn and just postured a little bit forward as well. What then happened was a priority roll went to Steve, and at that point he gave it to Peter. Peter then just took Marathi, put Marathi here.
Yeah. So she'd been transformed turn 1.
Yes.
And sat at the front of the army.
Yeah, she sat here. Then Peter in turn 2 moved her here. At this point, it was just like Steve had to make a choice. So in that scenario with her there, then what Steve did was he took his 9 flayers, flew at them and did some shooting, but unfortunately didn't do the 3 wounds you need to cap her out.
Yep.
So had to charge in. The Ghoul King on Terrorgeist went up here with a screen. Which was a really good play. Then what Peter did was he just postured a little bit more. And then he took the Sisters of Slaughter, charged them in, beat up the screen, then took 2 turns from the Ghoul King on Terrorgeist back in.
Yep.
Still alive.
Yeah, just standing there, happy.
Still, there was like 14, 15 of them left. It was crazy. Steve won the priority roll again.
Yep.
Again. With Marathi not doing enough damage to those 9 flayers. And with Steve winning the priority roll, he just took the Ghoul King on Terrorgeist, attacked more, and left 4 Sisters of Slaughter in that unit that you're seeing on the screen. And then at the bottom, Marathi, this unit of flayers who were here, 9 of them, flew here and engaged in the Witch Elves that were there. And then he just piled in and attacked twice, piled in and attacked twice. He had 3 flares attack Marathi and piled in and attacked twice.
Yeah.
So you're like, he could have done no more, but I feel he didn't need to take that turn.
Yeah, and the dice betrayed him a bit, I think. Like, we saw some more attacks. I'm not even sure we saw a 6 on a more attack.
No, I don't think we did. I don't think we did at all.
And then the D6 damage was coming out at 1. So those Sisters of Slaughter lasted a long time and got away with kind of not being ripped apart.
So then with Marathi here still alive and the Ghoul King on Terrorgeist here, what happened is the 4 Witch Elves came round to threaten this objective. The Heartrenders landed to attack in here. The strike back from the Witch Elves here killed all of the 9 flayers, which is just crazy. And then the ghouls were threatened at the bottom. They didn't end up getting it. And then exactly what you saw at the last turn, these Marathi and the Sisters and the Witch Elves went here, which they were here. They were that initial charge was actually a good play from Peter, because it got them here for him to run and charge, get the big charge to win the game.
I mean, and he gave so there was a CP, I think, that gave them the guaranteed 6 run, and then a good charge roll. So
yeah, it was just phenomenal. Absolutely crazy. And just a really fun game. I had a great time.
Yeah.
I had a great time. Bit wiped. I was like tense for like the first hour. I was like, what is going to happen?
I think there was a lot of us, as they kind of peacocked, right? There was lots of us kind of waiting, talking through the moves, then trying to work out what Morathi was doing, jumping lines.
Yeah, being really precise with the measurement, like really, really sorting it out, making sure like threat ranges were organised. I love watching some really good Warhammer, and that was really, really good Warhammer. And I think you get that excitement of that. You can't. There's very few other things that are that excitement of that priority dice roll that we have, and gutted for Steve, because 5 out of 6 times he wins that game. No, he doesn't win that game, but he does really well.
I think he'd have got a minor. I'm not sure there was enough bodies on the board to get that in, but he also could have got his hidden agenda, because Morathi could have died.
Yeah, absolutely. I think we have some more information from what's happened in the rest of the LGT now from our man in the field, Donal Taylor. He's a legend, he's a hero, and I can't wait to hear what he's got to say. No, again.
We have some very exciting updates from the LGT today. Game 4 of the LGT is going to be known as Durthu Gate, where we have lots of updates from Durthu, which I'll get on to. So, Table 1, Darren versus Philip, the Fire Slayers versus Change Host. We've still got 2 Fire Slayers heroes alive. Darren's going to be playing aggressively, trying to get the major. It does look like it's going to be a minor in his favour, but it's very early doors. Even though there's only like 20 minutes left, they're on turn 3. It's really going to depend whether or not Darren can get enough bodies onto the objective. He's definitely looks comfortable. Definitely looks like it's in his favour. But we'll see how it goes. Table 3 Table 2 as discussed. Jack won. We obviously just saw the daughters win. If Darren ends up in a minor, we could actually see Jack play the daughters player Peter rather than Jack play Darren. So last year at the LGT it was Jack and Darren won. If Darren gets the major, it could be Jack and Darren again, and Jack will be looking for vengeance, because it's pretty embarrassing to lose to Darren. I've never lost to Darren, fun fact. Beat him on Friday when I won the doubles, but there you go. I guess I'm just better than Jack and as well. Then we've got Ming. Ming won with Trogos. He wanted to throw the game so that he could put himself up for Best Painted. Instead, he actually won it, which is a surprise to everyone who's ever seen Ming play, because he is dreadful. Then the Deepkin versus Sylvaneth on Table 7. That was super exciting. It looked like it was going to be a Sylvaneth victory. There were no eels left. The Deepkin won the priority, managed to get some models onto the objective, and outscore by 2 points, which is pretty impressive, because I think we can all agree that the Deepkin are pretty... the Deepkin were looking in a really weak position, but he won the objective by 2 models, outscoring on turn 3. Ben Sava is on a downward trend. Mr. Hashtag so hot right now is no longer so hot. He's had 2 losses back to back. He lost versus the London Super League champion Ben Murphy with his Nagash. Then Simon Froley, the devoted of Sigmar player who we all loved until he went back to his daughters like an absolute bell. He beat the Karas and Slanesh combo. So it turns out the Karas and the Slanesh list is much worse than just Slanesh. I mentioned the Durthu Gate. So Durthu charged into a Gorgon, did 54 damage to the Gorgon. 54 in 1 round of combat, because Durthu is insane sometimes. He then double activated and did 24 damage to some Gore. And then a Doombull got buffed up, did 20 damage to Durthu and wiped him out. So that's the first Durthu story. We saw some other big things happen. Archeon lost effect after beating him yesterday. That was the same Archeon that did 3 Slayer of Kings to some Terrorgeists. Owen Jackson, he had Durthu against 20 Grimghast Reapers on the charge. The 20 Grimghast Reapers charged in, didn't kill Durthu. He killed them all. And Owen Jackson, even though he's on table 312, looks like he might actually win, which is great, because I mean both those players probably lost all their games. there's 2 Grimgas left. Owen looks like he's comfortable. Dorothy again winning that for the Sylvaneth. Mitzi, I love Mitzi. He's running grots, man after my own heart. Needed the Squigs the Squig herder to charge in to score the objective. Managed to fail it. It looks pretty like a pretty bad situation for Mitzi, with the Stormcast Eternals looking like they're going to smash it. That's the end of my updates. Poor Mitzi, though, he's going to lose, and he's not going to get a good position in the painting nominations, so he's probably going to lose that, despite having the best army on the field.
Thank you so much, Donal. Appreciate that loads. Really excited to see your interview with Steve and Peter in a moment. It's going to be real good. Thank you so much. It's heating up now.
Yeah.
So Jack the Bunny hashtag the easy run. I think that's the hashtag.
I would imagine so.
Yeah. Darren's game still very tense over there.
All I can see is a green purple sun. I mean,
I also can see a unit of fire slaves that have never left their objective.
Well, do fire slaves leave their objectives, especially if it's a pot of gold.
But both of the 2 players who played probably one of my favourite games of Warhammer that I've got to commentate yet, interviewing. I got to say that like they're smiling and happy. So what a great group of gents. We're going to go to them now and see what they thought of maybe one of the best games of Warhammer I've ever seen. Thank you.
Hey guys, welcome back to the LGT, and we're here with the 2 champions that were 1 champion and a loser. The game that we were watching, it was Poland versus England. Thank God for Brexit, because this won't happen next year unless the Conservatives do delays. Anyway, we're not allowed to talk about Brexit. It's fine. Okay, so it was Daughters versus Feck. How did that go for you, Peter?
Yeah, for me it went great. Yeah. I won this priority role turn 5, but it was a really, really tough game. I think it was the toughest game of Warhammer that I have ever played. Yeah.
Okay. And was this the first time you ever played, Steve?
Yeah.
And you have a 100% win rate against Steve?
I think so.
Me too. Okay, so what went wrong for you, Steve, in this game?
I think Peter's such a tight player, so I just echo what you said. Like that was the toughest game we've had all weekend so far. One of the toughest games I've ever had in Warhammer, and his movement was tight, everything he'd done was tight, he didn't make a single mistake, and I couldn't afford to do the same. So first 2 turns really, really cagey. 3 into 4 I was playing very, very carefully. I was really just playing for the minor, to be honest. I don't think I've got the bodies to play for the major, and then losing that priority role on turn 5, that was it. That was me done. So.
Do you think if you played for the England team and had England ETC dice, you could have won that game?
If I still roll ones like that, then no.
Just as context, by the way, Jack won his game on dice rolls. Not saying anything critical about anyone else in the England ETC except for Jack. Okay, so what would you have liked to have done differently in that game, or do you think you played it perfectly?
I think I played quite well. Winning the priority into turn 3, I was unsure whether I should have given it away or taken it. That's the only thing I might have. I can't wait to look back and see what happened. But other than that, I think just win the priority turn 5 would have been nice. But other than that, I don't know what else I could have done. I was always on the back foot. I knew that going into that game. Last night I was reading up on the list and making sure I knew what the braveries were so my horror gust spells can go off, and it just didn't really pay off for me in the end. But Peter's a great player and it's a tight game, so. Okay,
so Peter, there is a chance you're up against 9 Storm Fiends. Roll like a boss. Hashtag Jack Dice. Are you worried about 9 Storm Fiends?
Yeah, a little bit. I think they are really tough, and they are like the hottest thing right now in Warhammer. So it's like, I think it will be really tough. Yeah.
And so, speaking of hottest things in Warhammer, how long have you been playing with the Daughters of Khaine?
I have been playing them since they were released. Yeah. I switched a little bit to Deepkin recently, but I decided to play them for like few more months, I think.
Have you ever played a good army like Gloomspike Gits?
Nope.
Well, there you go. Peter likes to challenge himself with a weak army like Daughters, and it paid off. Anything else you guys?
I played Sylvaneth for a while.
Okay, you played Sylvaneth. Anything else you guys want to say before? Oh, did you paint it yourself?
Nope, it was painted by my friend, yeah.
Okay, so, because otherwise we were going to say put it up for best painted, but in that case don't. Okay, anything else you guys would like to say to the Honest Wargamer fans and people who just troll?
I would like to say that Steve was fantastic opponent for me, really great player. It was a pleasure to play with him.
Luckily you played Steve and not Laurie Huggett-Wibbick.
Wigbit is a bit salty. So yeah, same again, mate. Fantastic game. Thanks a lot.
Thanks, guys.
Look, that looked like a pleasurable game. Like legends,
Yeah.
like tense, solid Warhammer from 2 legends. You can't ask for more. And then interviewed by one of my favourite people, Mr. Donald Taylor. Like, and I've loved doing this game with you. Thank you so much for helping me with the coverage. Yeah, you were great. Can we all give it up in the Twitch chat to James, please? Legend.
I like the fact Rob doesn't let me tell you to do that for him.
Yeah, don't
but
do that.
he can do
thank
that
you.
for me.
But and also a big shout out to Scrivo doing our table bossing. Fantastic work then. And also shout out to Tom, who's just made the whole show look so much more fancy. You guys have been wonderful. Join us again for the final where we see who potentially is going to take away the LGT, the updates and all the goss. I'm now genuinely too excited. We've got to have lunch, probably a 9-hour queue, but I don't know if I've got time. I'm too nervous.
I have one imminent question.
What is it?
Do you think 9 Storm Fiends will be on the final stream?
Oh, it's going to be tense, but I'm very, very excited. Please join us again for the final game. I hope you guys have enjoyed it. As always, I need to thank both everyone who subscribes on Twitch and everyone who supports us on Patreon. We wouldn't be able to do it without those people. So if you've enjoyed today, it's thanks to those people. And you can become part of that crowd at any point by just joining either of those two. Links are all down below. I hope you have a great day, and we'll see you in an hour and a bit.
Yeah.
See you
in a
soon.
bit.
Have a great day.